where every moment is a win.
Is Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. The top NBA seeds in the East and West, both looking for crucial road wins tonight. The Cavaliers and Pacers play Game 3 after Indiana took the first two in Cleveland. Coverage of that one starts at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and TV. Also on ESPN, after Pacers and Cavaliers, Game 3 for the Thunder and Nuggets. OKC bouncing back from a Game 1 loss with a 43-point win in Game 2. Was it just an off night for the Nuggets? Interim coach David Adelman.
Yeah, but we got punked, and we didn't play well enough, and they came out with the right intensity, and we didn't. And, this is a team that does that. I mean, there's a reason why they have historic plus-minus numbers throughout this season is they put people away.
David Adelman. The NCAA men's and women's basketball rules committees are recommending changes on video reviews for out-of-bounds calls late in games. For the men, the goal is to limit long delays. FIFA today approves a plan to expand the Women's World Cup to 48 teams from the current 32, starting in 2031.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Monday, we'll continue to react to the second round of the NBA playoffs, as well as look ahead to the draft lottery. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
That's right.
Off and running, welcome in. Friday edition of After Further Review presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Musso in for Moscona. Tigers and Hogs from the box start a 3-game series tonight. Scheduled first pitch 6:30. We'll get into what to expect, forecast, all that, and a couple things to keep an eye on. Of course, give you a final prediction before we get out of here as well. We'll cover a lot with LSU and Arkansas. Jack DeLongchamps, he contributes for D1 Baseball, also hosts his own podcast. He's here at 4:15. He's in Baton Rouge to cover the LSU-Arkansas series. Of course, we'll get our picks with Mintz later on in the show as well. Plenty of LSU football, plenty of Saints to go through. We got a jam-packed show. Fired up to have you all along. Jacob Beck, Paul O'Neill here as well. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and smash that like button. Please share. All of that is greatly appreciated also. And let's go ahead and start it how we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
I remembered this time, Beck. We'll start with LSU baseball. Of course, Tigers getting set, as mentioned off the top, to welcome in Arkansas, a top 5 series at the box. A couple different things to really look at. Just a quick update, and I'll get into Cade Anderson, but a quick update on the weather. Forecast has really started to clear. I mean, the earlier in the day when you looked at it, it might look a little bit more suspect, but around 11, around noon, you started to see a window really open up for LSU right around the scheduled first pitch of 6:30. It might need to be delayed a little bit depending on when the rain stops and how you can get the field and condition set up. Teams can get out there, take infield, all of those things. But you're not looking at too much of a delay, I don't believe, here tonight. The same can kind of be said for Saturday. Rain's going to be early throughout the day, scattered, and should be good to go Saturday night. Maybe a little bit of a pushback of the 5:30 first pitch, but ultimately should be good to go. Sunday is the interesting one where you could be dodging some raindrops around the baseball game, particularly. But overall, man, look, LSU's had really rough luck with the weather this season, and you've had games pushed back. You've had games postponed. You've played till 1 a.m. in the morning. With such a massive weekend here, you were hoping it'd be clear. It's not going to be totally clear, but it does look like they'll be able to get in all 27 innings this weekend and pretty close to as scheduled, barring something just really unforeseen and head-scratching. So let's take off the meteorology cap, set that to the side, and now talk about the game. because game number 1 is immensely important for LSU in this series. LSU has lost just one series all year long when they have taken the first game, and that was at Texas back in early March. In your other 2 series losses this year, you've dropped game number 1. As it is with any college baseball team, as it is with any baseball team, winning game 1 of a series goes a long way to taking the whole thing. So that's where we turn our attention to Cade Anderson, because something that needs to be talked about here, and it's not the be-all, end-all, but it is noteworthy, is Cade Anderson will be going on one-day short rest. The doubleheader you had to play against Texas A&M, that condensed your schedule. He pitched on Friday. That's his 6th day now on Friday. Excuse me. He pitched on Saturday, which means Friday this week is his 6th day. No different than if he would be going from Friday to Thursday. Cade Anderson has pitched on 2 days short rest. On a day short rest twice this year. A lot of numbers there. A day short rest twice this year. The Thursday game against Mississippi State, and again the Thursday game against Alabama. And those 2 outings are remarkably similar. And they didn't go great for Cade Anderson. In each of those outings, Anderson gave up 6 hits and 5 earned runs. A lot's been made of his home run total that he's allowed this year, 12. 7 of those 12 came in those 2 games combined. It's a small sample. It's just twice. But given how remarkably similar those 2 games are, it might point to a larger trend. And the home run total is what's really intriguing there. Because while he may not be super fatigued, he's just not as sharp, right? The ball's leaking back over the plate a little bit more on the one-day short rest potentially. Now, I tell you all of that to tell you this. There are things and factors in this series at play that are different from those 2 outings. And maybe why you could look at this and go, okay, he might be better set up for success this time out against Arkansas, albeit the best offense LSU has faced all season and the best offense that Cade Anderson has faced all season. In those 2 games, the box was playing really, really offensive. LSU came back and won both of those games behind the long ball themselves. You had the 2-run homer from Dickinson and then the 3-run homer from Milam in that Mississippi State game that put you on top. And then, of course, in that Alabama game, that was the pinch hit 3-run homer from Larson, and then Milam had a 3-run shot as well. You came back and won those 2 games. The box was playing very offensive, and it impacted both teams. That might not be the case here today and this weekend as a whole. With the rain and all the storms that have blown through early this week and again on Friday, you're going to be looking at a north wind, which means the wind is blowing in at the box, which means that part can play very, very large and should favor the pitchers. Now, Anderson has to go out there and execute. He has to, be a little sharper than he has been potentially on his short rest so far this season. But with the box playing bigger, that's going to favor LSU. The long ball is a massive part of Arkansas's game. It's not the be-all, end-all of their offense, but it's a massive part of Arkansas's game. And LSU has been really good this year at limiting home runs. LSU has given up the second least amount of long balls in the SEC. And when you're playing in a big park, that favors you. What you're looking for this weekend is how many different ways, maybe unconventionally, you can limit this Arkansas offense. It's easy to say, you go out there and shut down the Eloy brothers. That's a really tough task, and not many teams have been able to do that. We were talking with John Neighbors yesterday on Thursday's show. There's just not a lot of holes in that lineup anywhere. 9-hole guys hitting 288. Well, look at LSU's 9-hole guy. Same kind of deal. So any type of little hidden advantage game within the game, and the win tonight could be part of that, and that could be what leads to Cade Anderson having a better outing on one-day short rest. That could be just an underlying factor to keep an eye on, and I wanted to really kind of point that out first and foremost when we talked about the series today before we got into our final thoughts and final predictions and all that, because it's just something that's kind of flying under the radar this weekend. And the other reason is I think the biggest advantage that LSU has in this series is the starting pitching. Your 1-2 punch of Anderson and Ianson is your advantage. And then if you can get through the first two and not use Case and Evans and you have him ready to go, you're looking at a weekend rotation of Anderson, Ianson, Evans. And you feel really, really good about that, especially playing at home. But game number one is so important. And then being able to play it as close to that scheduled first pitch and get it all in is going to be extremely important as well. You've lost one series all year when you've won the first game. See if you can go out there and get it tonight. Weather looks like it's going to hold off. You've got your horse on the mound. Can he break a trend? If he does, I think LSU is going to be in pretty darn good shape here on Friday night and going forth the rest of the weekend. All right. We'll talk plenty more LSU and Arkansas. Again, as I said, we got, 2 more segments on the rundown today to talk about this series. It's just a massive. It's the biggest weekend of the year so far for LSU. Top 5 matchup, and, so much on the line postseason-wise. So we got plenty of time earmarked to talk about it. We're going to grab a break, though. We're going to come back on the other side. Are the Saints close to filling a really big hole on their team? We'll talk about it next on AFR.
After further review.
Love telling you about Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, but something that I really want to stress, especially with Mother's Day coming up this weekend. So Goodwood is also partnered and owned by Unique Physique, and coming soon, Unique Aesthetics. So the 3-in-1 will have a full service and complimentary health services plan there with aesthetics and, of course, hormone therapy and all the likes. Well, if you go to shopwithmatt.com, my name, shopwithmatt.com, they are pre-selling at incredible discounts products and services for Unique Aesthetics. Botox, skin tightening and lifting, of course, gift cards, laser, hair removal, other things like body contouring, sculpting, filler, all the micro needling, and right now, the lowest prices you will see. Shopwithmatt.com. Use the code UPLoyal10.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
You work hard every day to pursue a life you love. You put in the time, and it shows. You're forging ahead, chasing a dream, creating something better for the ones you love. You're building your own life. So why not build your own tractor? With John Deere tractors and attachments for almost any need, the Sunshine team can help you do just that. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wild.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
These are the
the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Atmos Energy, our smart choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
AFR is brought to you by First South Farm Credit. You know where to start. Your first call, your first visit, your first option when it comes to buying land in Louisiana is First South Farm Credit. And honestly, it doesn't even have to be land in Louisiana because First South Farm Credit can help you buy land in any of the contiguous 48. And they've got more than 40 branches in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. So if you're right here in the Southeast, there's First South Farm Credit locations all near you. But remember, like, for example, let's say a lot of our audience in New Orleans, of course. You're living in New Orleans, maybe you're starting to build a family, grow a family. You want to move to the North Shore like a lot of people do. You want to buy the 100 acres in Tangipahoa. You can. And First South Farm Credit can help because they have an office in Amite. So walk in there. You can do business with someone who talks like you, lives where you live, and help you buy land wherever you want to buy land in the contiguous 48. It's First South Farm Credit. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call, your first option should be First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthLand.com.
Rolling along on a Friday edition of After Further Review, again presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Hope you're having a great Friday. And if your weekend's already started, wish you a great weekend. Of course, hopefully it's filled with plenty of sports and plenty of favorable outcomes for your favorite teams, especially if one of them is the LSU baseball Tigers, which I assume they are because you're listening to the show. The New Orleans Saints. When looking at this team and this roster, you've been told there's a bunch of holes all the time. And, man, you couldn't have gone wrong in the draft. Just pick a position. You need it. Make the pick. See if the guy works out. See if you hit, right? I mean, that's been what you've heard all throughout the offseason. And, I mean, you've heard it because it's true. And they go through the draft. They make all 9 picks. Here you are, rookie minicamp. And one of the holes you're still looking at is that big-bodied possession wide receiver. And quite honestly, you've lacked that since Michael Thomas. And everyone you found in free agency doesn't fit that bill. I mean, you bring in Brandon Cooks, who's old and, small, and just is Rashid Shaheed. And then, oh, by the way, there's Rashid Shaheed and Chris Olave. And, I mean, just, even the guys you brought in undrafted free agents, they're 6 foot, 5'10". The one thing rookie minicamp is also good for, aside from just getting, your draft picks and UDFAs acclimated to life in the NFL, is tryouts. You can bring in a bunch of veterans, guys of that nature, give them an extended look, give the team an extended look at those players. And the Saints brought in plenty, but one name catches your eye, and it's wide receiver Donovan Peoples-Jones. Quick background on Peoples-Jones, if you're unfamiliar. Detroit native, played his college ball at Michigan, was a 6th-round pick of the Cleveland Browns in the 2020 draft, played all of his time in Cleveland until being traded mid-season 2023 to his hometown Lions. Last season was on the Lions practice squad, did not play in a game. But he's obviously in football shape, being on the team's practice squad. Checks the box for size, right? 6'2", 204 pounds. You like that from a guy like Donovan Peoples-Jones. When you look at this production throughout the NFL and his career, it's really been 2 years that stand out. One in particular, that was 2022 in Cleveland, set career highs in receptions, yards, and touchdowns. The production dropped off majorly after that year. to where he split time with two teams and did not crack 300 yards receiving. He's been durable, but what's the reason for the production drop-off? Because this is intriguing. I'll give you a take on if I think they should do it momentarily, but it is intriguing because he adds an element to your team that you are missing, provided the tryout goes well. And if it does, a guy like Donovan Peoples-Jones, who has played 4 years in the NFL, is a lot more tempting to keep on your roster through training camp and OTAs and all of that, rather than a guy like Mason Tipton or Bub Means. Because you have a lot of those guys. And through their 1 year, you didn't really see much of them on the field. But here's the thing. While it's intriguing, I don't think this is a good move for the New Orleans Saints. I don't think Donovan Peoples-Jones is your answer for the big-bodied receiver you're looking for to be that, clutch guy to go to on third down. He's not the guy that's going to fill the Michael Thomas role. Reason number one, the inconsistency in production. But reason number two, he's not that sure-handed. You need a guy who's sure-handed in that role. In his best season, which again was 2022, he caught 63.5% of his targets. It's the only season outside of his rookie year where he had that type of production. Everything else is under 60%. Take a guy like Keenan Allen, who you've heard tossed around for this role plenty with the New Orleans Saints. In Keenan Allen's career, he's caught 70% of the targets thrown his way. In his 1 year in Kellen Moore's offense, which is why everybody's pointing to Keenan Allen, he caught 72% of the target. That's more along the lines of what you're looking for. Yeah, Donovan Peoples-Jones is a veteran. Yeah, he knows the league, all those things. He's in good football shape, all of that. He checks the box in size. He doesn't check the box in sure-handedness. The New Orleans Saints still have to fill that role. And I think it has to be done in free agency. And the name that makes the most sense there would be Keenan Allen. Or another guy that maybe we're overlooking that has that type of reliability in the passing game, close contested, who you can trust. Throw the ball over the middle on a slant. You need 5 yards on third down. That guy's going to grab it every time. And I just don't think that that's Donovan Peoples-Jones. I don't think that guy's on the team right now. You have other receivers with size. Cedric Wilson's still on this team. He's 6'2". He's very comparable in size to Peoples-Jones. 6'2", 210 pounds, 208 pounds, somewhere in there. But he was on the team last year. The production wasn't there from him either. That guy is not on your roster. And look, that's not the missing link for this team to go win a division, make the playoffs, or anything like that. You have far bigger problems there. We're talking so much about, which receiver is going to be there to catch the ball on third down, which quarterback's going to be in the game to throw him the ball in the first place. That's still something you have to figure out if you're the New Orleans Saints. And you got Ian Rappaport on Pat McAfee Thursday, just basically regurgitating the same report from Jane Slater earlier in the week that he wants to avoid surgery and all of that. I mean, we talked about that a day ago. We don't even need to rehash that. It's all you're really doing with Derek Carr at this point is rehashing things. But until some decision is made, until we know who's going to be the starting quarterback for this team, all you have to do is rehash it. And it's the same thing with receiver and that specific role on this team. So you got to figure out who's going to be throwing on the ball first and foremost. But, man, that's a part of your offense that you have just lacked since Michael Thomas. And, look, I don't really know if there's another Michael Thomas out there. I mean, the guy set NFL records in receptions. His ability to catch the football was unlike anything else. I mean, you're looking at a guy who had, catching 80+% of his targets in certain seasons. That guy might not be out there, but you need something more than 63.5% like Donovan Peoples-Jones averages, or not averages, offers. And I'll just throw it out there again. Keenan Allen. That's the one. He's got to pick you, though. He's got to pick you. And remember, after the season that just passed, Allen said he'd be open to returning to Chicago, but he really wants to get back to the West Coast. That's where his family still is. They didn't take the move to him in Chicago. Maybe that's what he's looking to do still. But if he wants to play, he's going to have to go where the opportunity is. There's definitely an opportunity in New Orleans with a coach that he's been linked to and has played under. It's going to be up to him, though, to take that opportunity if given, and up to the Saints to actually make contact and want to go down that route. We'll keep an eye on Peoples-Jones with this tryout here over the next few days in rookie minicamp. But I don't think that's the answer. That's just me. Maybe you disagree. Love to hear your feedback on it. I don't think it's the answer. All right. That's one position for the Saints. There's another one that I want to address a little bit later on in the show that I think is definitely flying under the radar. And the reason it is because the Saints, they have taken steps to address it, but you're also gambling in that sense. And there's a couple options out there on the open market that are definitely more sure things than potentially your approach taken. Stick around for that. We're going to do that at the bottom of hour number 2 here on AFR. Still plenty more to come. Grab a break here. Come back on the other side. We'll go around the SEC, and pretty big honor handed down to an LSU athlete earlier today from the SEC League office that we'll touch on as well. It's a Friday edition of AFR. Musso in for Moscona. Stick around. Back for more next.
After further review.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. I love sharing 5-star Google reviews. Here's one from Ricky Gomez, who said Chris, his technician, was very professional and knowledgeable during the HVAC evaluation. He provided details and recommendations in a clear and concise manner. That's one of the things that always stands out. If you're having an issue with your AC or your heater, and River City's 1 Hour Air sends out a technician for an evaluation, they're going to explain your options to you. And that may sound simple, but none of it, I don't know anything about an HVAC, neither do you. Let's be honest. So whenever they go get up in your attic or they go look at your HVAC unit on the side of your house and they come talk to you, they're going to explain very clearly what's happening and your options to remedy it. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. 752-0001.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
As we get on down the road, remind you about South Point Volkswagen, airline just north of Highland, and SouthPointVW.com, new and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at SouthPointVW.com, SouthPointVW.com. You know, one of the things that's really worth stressing when I tell you all the time about why I love driving a Volkswagen. Remember, at South Point Volkswagen, their vehicles are manufactured right here in the US of A. So you get the great German engineering, safety features, performance, all of it, without the cost and the benefit of supporting American jobs. But even more importantly right now, as people talk about tariffs and rising costs and all that stuff, these vehicles are manufactured in the US of A, so you don't even have to worry about the tariffs and all that conversation. So another benefit of shopping at South Point Volkswagen, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer, and they're awesome people as well. Volkswagen, so much it's a culture, it's a vibe, it's fun to drive, and they're fun to deal with as well. Airline just north of Highland, South Point Volkswagen.
Back here, Friday edition of After Further Review. Musso filling in for Moscona. We'll go around the SEC here momentarily. Anybody watch SEC baseball last night? Auburn and South Carolina. Gamecocks jumped out to a 1-0 lead. First inning. Then proceeded to give up 24 unanswered runs and get run ruled 24-2 in 7 innings. Y'all, that was ugly. They're playing right now. Beck, you have a score update for me on that one over there on the Plains? How's it going?
Let me check real quick. All right, let's see. Okay, the current score: Auburn 10, South Carolina 8. Bottom of the 6th here, and they're 2 on with 1 out. So Auburn threatening with a little bit more here. So could be a little bit of a tough inning for the Gamecocks.
Pitching optional, obviously, in that one. I only bring it up because of the pulmonary factor here. It's been really, really tough to watch South Carolina at points this year. I mean, they had a really nice weekend against Ole Miss. They actually won that series. But other than that's been a tough watch. They're sitting on 5 SEC wins. Obviously, it's also significant because that's who LSU closes the season with. But South Carolina, it was always going to be hard to win there this season. That was not a great team a year ago. And you lost a lot off of that team. Yes, they made a regional. They got hot down the stretch and into the SEC tournament, and then they got eliminated in regional. They played out over their skis down the stretch and stunk in. So it was always going to be tough year one. I don't know if I saw 5-20. my take on Mainieri taking that job was always he's not going to win big at South Carolina because I think he's just done winning big. And South Carolina doesn't have the investment there that they used to. They just don't. I didn't see this. And it's hard to watch because this is just not the way it should go. For me, what Paul Mainieri did at LSU was great. Got you back to the top, won 4 SEC crowns, a national title, played for another, how many draft picks? I mean, it was great for 15 years. Faded down the stretch. It was time to make a change. He had health concerns, needed to retire. His legacy, for me, intact. But, man, this is a tough way to punctuate your career right now because this is the last job that Paul Mainieri will have. And this is a South Carolina club that's got it put to them. The last weekend, Florida beat them 22-3, and Auburn beat them 24-2 last night. The head-scratching move when Ray Tanner made it because it was never going to get South Carolina back to the top. And then Paul's just, the comment about the league, underestimating the league. And it's like, man, you won the league 4 times. How can you underestimate the league? And, I mean, you struggled in the league down the stretch at LSU in your tenure. That's a comment you could do without. It's just, for me, it's a legacy thing. And like I said, for me, for what he did at LSU, that's set in stone. But, man, just for the whole point in his career, it's just like, golly. I mean, coaches, though, they can't, sometimes they just can't get away. They got to keep going back and keep going back. And I kind of wish he wouldn't have. I kind of wish he wouldn't have. He didn't inherit the best situation at LSU. It was better than the one he inherited at South Carolina. But he didn't inherit a great one. LSU in 2007, man, they had their struggles. They still won 12 SEC games that year. South Carolina had a lead in this game. It's gone. We'll see if they can get it back. But that's a team that's really down on its luck. And it's hard to watch. Like it's hard to watch for sure. Because for me, all I could think of is, man, I could have gone out the way he did at LSU, his team winning a regional, getting him into the postseason, winning a regional on the road, and then going out in a super regional, just 2 wins away from Omaha for a team that overachieved. And that could have been a great way to just kind of punctuate things. And now you won't be able to tell the story of Paul Mainieri's career without South Carolina. And look, I don't think he's going to go, win 5 games the rest of his time in Columbia, right? I mean, again, I think he will win to a certain degree. But this is just something I think he could have done without, in all honesty. So, I don't know. We'll continue to follow it because obviously he'll continue to coach there for at least the rest of this season, and I'd expect one more year at least. And LSU plays them next week. So, South Carolina is very much at the forefront of the conversation here, with LSU baseball. All right, that for the review. Let's go ahead and go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Ole Miss Rebels.
4-star wide receiver Corey Barber pledges to Ole Miss on Friday. Chose the Rebs over Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, and Miami. Those were his other finalists in his top 5. Rated as the nation's number 46 overall wide receiver. The number 13 prospect out of Alabama. 273 nationally. 1,400 yards in his last high school season. 6 foot, 180 pounds. Now a Reb.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Kentucky continued does work in the transfer portal. They add James Madison, offensive lineman Cameron Jones, 6'6", 330-pounder. Spent each of his first 2 seasons at James Madison, redshirted in 2023, so he has 3 years left to play. He's the 26th transfer portal edition for the Wildcats.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
Clarkley and Vandy reeling in another commit. This one from 3-star wide receiver Caden Smith. Got him out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Held offers from Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Stanford. The pledge to the doors, 6'2", 185 pounds. 133rd ranked wide receiver in the country, 27th ranked prospect out of Alabama.
The Texas Longhorns.
Jim Schlossnagle, when he met with the media, gave pretty good news on star slugging outfielder Max Ballou. Of course, hasn't played since March 28th after injuring his thumb against Missouri. Had surgery, was thought to be out for the year, but now it looks like the return could be next weekend against Oklahoma. Schlossnagle, when meeting with the media on Thursday, said he's progressing well, did some light hitting. If the progression continues, he could return against the Sooners.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Wes Johnson in Georgia, they are without slugger Rylan Zaborowski for another week, officially out on the injury report for the Alabama series. Injured his elbow. This will be the second straight weekend. Has not attempted a throw yet since injuring that elbow, but has been doing some light work as well. They need him. That's a big presence. Leading home run guy, 372 as well for Zaborowski. The official update, I should say, is he has resumed baseball activities on Tuesday, but has not attempted to throw the ball yet. There you have it. That is around the SEC. It's after further review presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar here on your Thursday. Musso in for Moscona. Give a quick hat tip to Tori Edwards of the LSU softball team. She was named SEC Freshman of the Year by the league office on Friday. Just the third LSU Tiger to ever take home that award, joining Bianca Bell and Rachel Fico. Edwards has set records, man, at LSU this year. Home runs, 18 in a single season. Slugging, 844 in a single season. She's also up there, top 5 in hits, as well as RBI, on base, all of those things. She's hit 4 grand slams on the year for 18 homers, 4 of them grand slams. She's been awesome all year. That's an awesome honor as well. Again, third Tiger to take home that award. And LSU, look, they were ousted from the SEC tournament. They await their NCAA tournament fate. Should obviously host a regional over there at Tiger Park. And you wish Beth Trina and her club the best of luck as they go forth in the postseason, trying to make it back to Oklahoma City. For what it's worth, a couple other Tigers honored. Edwards, not only freshman of the year, also first team All-SEC. Catcher Macy Bajaron, Sydney Berzon, your pitcher, your ace, and infielder Danica Coffey, also honored 2025 All-SEC second team. So, again, they await their postseason fate now. They should be hosting a regional at Tiger Park. And then we'll keep you posted and wish Beth Trina and her club best of luck as they go forth into the postseason. All right. We are about to go forth into break, come back on the other side, and punctuate the hour with a little bit of LSU football. A pretty significant update on a key returner for LSU in 2025 who's been dealing with injury. We'll give you the latest next here on AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. Remember, you can always download the Rouse's app. I encourage you to do that. If you're shopping, download the Rouse's app. Select your items. Your personal shopper will go pick them out for you. You pull up in one of the designated spaces, and they'll bring it out to your vehicle. It's at Rouse's. Go to Rouse's.com. You can find the location nearest you at Rouse's.com or in the Rouse's app. And as always, boy, no matter what you're looking for, they got you covered. May is Pet Month. You may not know that. So they've got tons of great items on sale all month long for your pet. From treats and dog and cat food and all different types of things, supplements. You can check it all out at Rouse's all this month at May, with it being Pet Month. So treat your best friend, courtesy of our friends over at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Find the location nearest you with 70 locations from Lake Charles to Orange Beach, Alabama, and points in between. It's Rouse's. This feels like home.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Quick reminder about Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. They're the best. If you are, gentlemen, thinking about popping the question and you're thinking about where am I going to go buy that diamond, I want you to consider this. There are places that will sell you man-made lab diamonds, but what are you buying? It's, according to its makeup and characteristics, sure, diamond. But is it going to hold its value? Like, is that the way you want to say, I love you, I want to spend the rest of my life with you? Go to Lee Michaels. Go to Lee Michaels. Walk in the door. Experience the thing I talk about all the time, which is the Lee Michaels experience. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry with 10 locations. Baton Rouge, 2 locations in Baton Rouge. New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport, Mississippi, Texas as well, 10 locations across 3 states. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Thrill her, gentlemen. Thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry.
The 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge Spring Cha-Ching, powered by Citizens Bank and Trust, is back. Register today at 1045ESPN.com for your chance to win $5,000 in cash. It's Spring Cha-Ching from Citizens Bank and Trust and 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Well, this was a fun thing to see pop up on the timeline earlier today. Credit Zach Nagy, covers LSU football for over there at SI. Harold Perkins, back out and moving and looking pretty darn good in doing so. This is always really fun, right? When you get a guy coming back from a ligament injury like an ACL or whatnot, and you're just like, oh, look, he's out there doing all the drills and all the cone drill and all the agility testing. And that's ultimately what this video is of Harold Perkins. Just posted on an Instagram story, and he's out there in the outfield of looks like a softball field or maybe even a baseball field, like a little league field, going through drills, backpedaling, planting, breaking. There's even one where he leaps for a pass as well. He looks explosive. He looks good. Start the hype train, right? This is what all this is. Harold Perkins is going to go out there and win awards because of this video right here in May. That's what we should all be excited about. Obviously, I kid, but it is great to see him out there moving around and doing so even before the start of summer workouts for LSU. Look, it was widely, thought, and the plan is for him to be full go, ready fall camp, day one, ready to go out there. And this is just a huge step in that direction, y'all. And look, I know it can get exhausting and has at times for people having to just hear about Harold Perkins over and over again, and you're waiting for that big splash to mimic the freshman year, right? And I don't know if that big splash is coming ever again. He already burst onto the scene. Like, what you have. What it's been about is finding the right fit. And they've had to go through all the different, processes of that and moving him inside twice. Now, we don't need to rehash it all. But why that is so great to see him moving the way he is and being as explosive as he is in that video here in May is because of the position that he's going to be playing this year for you. And it's that star. It's that hybrid, right? Where he can be put in coverage. He can come off the edge. You can really hone in and use the agility, the speed, the explosiveness that he has. So seeing him do that now, that's extremely encouraging to me, because whether you're in that camp or like, I'll see it, I'll believe it when I see it once again, or whatever, you're sick of hearing about Harold Perkins. Harold Perkins is going to be a huge part of this LSU team in 2025. And his success is going to factor immensely and directly into the success of Blake Baker's defense overall in the year, which factors into LSU's success as a football team overall on the year. So look, that's a great update to have for Harold Perkins. And again, to have it before the start of summer workouts is even better, because not only does it show the explosiveness, it shows he's committed, he's locked in, he's bought in, he's ready to go, which shouldn't be a question really with Harold Perkins at all, because even throughout all those position changes, they never really lasted long. And Harold was always willing to go back and help the team win, go back to a different position and help the team win in any way that he could. And that's what's going to happen this year. And it's going to happen at the Star. And the explosiveness looks like it's back. And he's only going to get stronger the more and more that he works. But it's great to see that he's attacked the rehab the way that he has. And that he's ready to go. Because, y'all, LSU's going to need him. It's a cornerstone of your defense. And, man, what excites me is you can play Whit Weeks in the role that he was so good at a year ago after Perkins went down, kind of filling that Harold Perkins type role. And now you can get Perkins on the field. So you can get them both on the field at the same time in a way that they're not competing against each other, right? And that, above all else, is extremely encouraging as well. So Harold Perkins, y'all, there he is. He's back out there doing work. Looks great. Cutting, leaping, change of direction, all of those things that will play a big role for him playing that star position and a big role for LSU. I expect a big year. I'm expecting a big year for Perkins and for this LSU defense. And look, if he goes out there and has it, y'all, it's first-round draft pick. Like, we know that. You look at some of these way too early mock drafts right now, and there's no Perkins in it, and that's understandable. He's going to have to go back out there and prove it, that he's coming off the injury and that he can return to some semblance of the form that he had his freshman year. But even in the down year, right? Even the down year his sophomore season, he was right there in line with all the numbers he put up as a freshman. The position change would do good, but the biggest thing is he's healthy. And you know what? Just personally for him, you want him to go out there, have the great year, earn that money, and go be a first-round draft pick and have great success in the NFL. He'll have a chance to do that this year and have a chance to hopefully help lead this team on a playoff run as well. Harold Perkins out there working out, looking pretty darn good doing it as well. All right, about a minute or so left here in the first hour of the show. Really excited for this conversation to start the 4 o'clock hour. College football playoff expansion. It's back in the headlines. There was a meeting on Thursday, and one particular model is gaining a lot of support. And I love it for a lot of different reasons. We're going to get into that to start the 4 o'clock hour. Also switch back to some LSU Arkansas. Jack DeLongchamps is a contributor for D1 Baseball, hosts his own podcast on baseball as well. He is here in Baton Rouge covering the Arkansas series. He's going to hop on with us, give us his thoughts. He's at the box already, so we can get a lay of the land, weather, how it's looking, things of that nature, field conditions. Fired up to do that as well. And then, of course, Ben Mintz later on in the show as well. Give us some college baseball picks. Good card. You've had it change a little bit. It's a good card in the SEC this weekend. A lot of interesting series to take a look at. So that's all still on deck for the remaining 2 hours of the show. Thank you for making us part of your Friday. Musso in for Moscona. Scone's back on Monday. He spent the latter half of this week at the Barrett Sports Media Conference up there, convention, I should say, up there in Chicago. So he'll be back on Monday. But for now, you got me for the next 2 hours. Looking forward to him. We're jam-packed. Stick around. It's AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Supper Club. You can book your reservation, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. One of the things about Supper Club that I love is if you want to go to Supper Club and be a baller, you can do it. You want to go to Supper Club and order a $5,000 bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, you can do it. You want to go have $400 shots of cognac, you can do it. You can have experiences at Supper Club that usually are reserved for Las Vegas and New York and Paris and Abu Dhabi. Like, that's here in Baton Rouge. But the thing you got to remember as well, if you want to go to Supper Club and have the best steak of your life and have a few appetizers, a dessert, bottle of wine, you can do it as affordably as any other restaurant in town. But the experience at Supper Club is unmatched. Introduced open seating at the bar, first come, first serve. So if you knock off of work, you want to head by Supper Club, you can walk in without a reservation, see if you can grab a bar stool or a table by the bar as well. Have a great dinner, maybe cocktail, close some business. Book your reservation, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team color, team swag, and now your very own website, LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net, powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. The top seed in the East, the Cleveland Cavaliers, are down 2-0 against the Pacers. Game 3 tonight in Indy. For Cleveland, ESPN's Jamal Collier says there's good news on Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and DeAndre Hunter.
All three players were on the floor this morning at shoot-around for the Cavs. That in of itself is a step forward from where those guys were leading up to Game 2, when none of them were able to take the floor at all before that game.
Jamal Collier, our Game 3 coverage of the Cavaliers and Pacers starts at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and TV. Also on ESPN tonight at 10 Eastern, Game 3 in Denver for the Nuggets and Thunder, with that series tied. Browns GM Andrew Berry tells 92.3 The Fan that it's increasingly unlikely the team will re-sign running back Nick Chubb. The Browns drafted running backs Quinshon Judkins and Dylan Sampson. NHL playoffs tonight, Game 3 in Sunrise, Maple Leafs and Panthers. Game 2 in Winnipeg, Dallas and the Jets.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Monday, we'll continue to react to the second round of the NBA playoffs, as well as look ahead to the draft lottery. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's rock! Go!
Hour number 2 after further review on a Friday, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Musso in for Moscona. 1 hour in the books, a couple more to go. Plenty more talk about LSU and Arkansas. Forecast has kind of changed in that. Might be looking at a little bit later of a first pitch. Didn't we all expect that? Man. Not real pleased about that, but, we'll wait it out. And those 1 a.m. finishes, they've treated LSU well so far this year. So if you're into superstition, and a lot of baseball people are, that's something to definitely consider. All right, let's dive in to hour number 2 here. One of everyone's favorite topics, college football playoff expansion. Ross Dellinger, over the night on Thursday, and even early this morning on Friday, had a report that the 4 power conference commissioners held an in-person meeting in New York on Thursday to discuss a lot of different issues. But what was at the forefront was a new playoff format for the future. The Big Ten and the SEC, obviously they control the future format and continue to favor the multiple automatic qualifiers for their leagues, which makes a lot of sense. Look out for you, look out for number 1, and it makes a lot of sense why the Big Ten and the SEC would get the most. We don't really need to go into that. Common sense tells you they've won 16 of the last 19 national championships. They get the most teams in the playoff every single year. They have the best teams, the most historic programs, the best players, all of that in their leagues. But the growing support within the Big Ten and the SEC is for a 16-team bracket. And what that would entail is a couple of different things. So 4 AQs from the SEC and the Big Ten, respectively, 2 for the ACC and the Big 12, 1 G6, and then 3 at large. One of those would obviously have to be set aside for Notre Dame in the case that they finish in the top, in this case, 16 in the country. They would get the at-large bid. So you'd be left with 2. But what's really interesting about this is what it would do to championship weekend and the SEC schedule. I can run through all the instances why a 16 playoff bracket is a good thing, even for the ACC and the Big 12 who want to cry over spilt milk because they're only getting 2 bids. Well, first of all, if you're the Big 12, you got 1 last year, so you're already guaranteed 1 more in this format. You should be happy about that, with the opportunity, depending on how things play out in other leagues, to gain another one in an at-large, which could have happened for you a year ago in a scenario that we're going to get into here momentarily. So it actually plays out well for them, too. Really, when you think about it, if you want to be mad at anybody here, you'd be mad at Notre Dame because they still refuse to join a conference where they could just earn an automatic qualifier potentially, because they're going to be in the Big Ten or the ACC or the SEC or ACC at this point. And you could save another at-large bid. But anyway, that's not part of the conversation. I love this, and I know a lot of people are going to hate it because, man, you just want to have something to complain about a lot of the time. This would be awesome. Because for one, it keeps more teams engaged longer. It gets the Big 12, who only had 1 bid, a guaranteed second every single year, with more potentially to come. But what I love most about it is it's finally going to get the SEC to 9 conference games, which should have happened a long time ago. And Greg Sankey can say whatever he wants. The 2 sticking points that have held that up are college football playoff bids and money. That's it. Greg Sankey, when he's been asked about this, says money doesn't lead, right? Whatever. Money's been a factor in this. You need ESPN to give you more in that television deal, giving them an extra game. You want to make sure guaranteeing half your league another loss, an additional loss, that you aren't weighed down in playoff bids. This gives you 4 automatic. It's obviously going to lead to more revenue. This could get the SEC to 9 conference games, which would be fantastic. As Yahoo Sports and Ross, as they've reported way back in February, the next portion of that would be a scheduling agreement between the Big Ten and the SEC, where each league would be at 9 conference games, and then one of your, out-of-conference games would be against each other. And you could have incredible matchups at that point. And with the guaranteed AQs, that loss doesn't mean as much. You get to see great football and matchups you wouldn't normally see. How about an LSU-Michigan matchup finally? Everyone's always wanted to see that. That could happen under that agreement. And that agreement is going to come to fruition eventually with the expansion of the playoff. The other reason I like this a lot is what it would do to conference championship weekend potentially. So the SEC and the Big Ten, per Ross's reporting, and with this 16-team model, would have season-ending play-in games in your conference. 3rd place versus 6th, 4th place versus 5th. So, stick with me here. You could just advance your top 2 teams, they get the AQ. You could still play a championship game if you want to crown a championship, but you could just advance those 2, and on conference championship weekend have these play-in games between your 3rd place team and your 4th and 5th, your 3rd place, 4th, 5th, and 6th place teams, where 3 plays 6 and 4 plays 5. What would that have looked like last year? Well, pull up the SEC standings, and you would have been looking at a matchup between Tennessee and South Carolina for the opportunity to earn an automatic bid into the playoff. How about a play-in game between Alabama and LSU on campus for the right to earn an automatic bid into the college football playoff? And it's not just the SEC and the Big Ten that have discussed this. The Big 12, the ACC, all of them have discussed the same type of play-in games. You talk about keeping teams engaged longer, that would keep a lot more into. First, you've expanded the field, and now even the 6th place team in the conference has a chance to earn an automatic bid. And I know what you're thinking. Okay, well, in that sense, the loser of that game is still going to get in at the at-large. Not necessarily. Alabama and LSU, take them for an example. Because that would have been your 4th and 5 matchup for a play-in game a year ago under this format. Alabama was 9-3. LSU was 8-4. The loser of that game is out. 9-4 ain't get you in the playoff. Still in the 16-team format. 8-5 at that point definitely didn't get an LSU in. So you would actually have an elimination game with the winner getting the AQ. And that's where you look at something like the Big 12 being able to potentially gain a third team, or the ACC being able to gain a third team in via at-large. Because the SEC, they get their 4 AQs, but they could cannibalize themselves in those play-in games and prevent further at-large teams. What you'd have to worry about is somebody like Ole Miss, who wouldn't have played in those play-ins. Are they worthy enough then at 9-3 to garner an at-large? But looking at the Big 12 in the final playoff rankings from a year ago, you had one team in. It was Arizona. You do your playoff games, okay, potentially, you decide where to go. Maybe you have one of your AQs decided between, Arizona State and Iowa State. That was your conference championship game a year ago. Well, even after that conference championship game, Iowa State's still at 10-3. Can they secure an at-large after your other play-in game potentially? I look at this and I don't see a downside really for anybody. Everyone's going to latch on to the automatic qualifiers for the Big Ten and the SEC and say they're ruining the sport of college football. When in actuality, all they're doing is locking in their place in the playoff. And with these play-in games, potentially cannibalizing their league even more, which is going to leave more open spots, potentially, not in every year, but there's going to be years where that happens, for the ACC, for the Big 12. The ACC got 2 teams in a year ago anyway. How about a Miami team that's sitting right there, potentially for an at-large after leagues have their play-in games and whatnot? I like this a lot because conference championship weekend's gotten stale, if we're being honest. The games, they just don't really mean anything. You haven't expanded the playoff, and in expanding the playoff, it's devalued those games from an actual on-field. Texas and Georgia played a great game. It was fun to watch in the SEC championship. They both got into the playoff. That's why, man, I look at this and I go, okay, do away with conference championship weekend entirely. Let your top 2, those are your automatic bids. Crown an SEC champion just in the regular season. Maybe you have to share it sometimes. Okay, that's fine. You did that for years prior to the SEC championship game being a thing. And give me a bigger slate of college football with games that actually matter for who's getting in or being left out of the college football playoff. And that's what these play-in games could lead to. I love that idea. Love that idea. Because again, just look at the SEC standings. You're keeping 6 teams involved with that. And you have others like Ole Miss, Missouri, who are sitting there at 9-3, 10-2, whatever it was, waiting for those teams to cannibalize themselves and see if they can't move up into an at-large spot. Same goes for the other conferences. I think that's a great idea. And again, it's more games, so it would generate more revenue than even your conference championship game does. I'm not some staunch expand the playoff guy. I'm really not. But I look at this and it's hard for me to really see a negative for anybody involved. And look, the group of 5 gets to keep their little, hand-me-down, just handout spot. If this is gaining support in the Big Ten and the SEC, this is what you're heading for because they control the future of the playoff. And I think when you really look at it, you can see positives for everybody involved. I hope this goes through. I hope this is where we're heading because I think it would be fascinating theater to watch. Let me know your thoughts. You can comment on the YouTube chat. You can tweet me, Twitter X, @Musso Matthew. I'd love to know what you think about this potential expansion in the playoff. We can revisit it if we have some time later in the show, get into some of your reaction, because I think it would be awesome. And I really hope this decision is made and we can start to look forward to this start after in 2026 when the new agreement starts with ESPN. All right, we're going to grab a break. Come back on the other side. Jack DeLongchamps, he's over at the box covering the series, contributor for D1 Baseball. He'll join us next. We'll get a boots on the ground view of how things are happening at Alex Box Stadium as rain continues to fall ahead of the opener between LSU and Arkansas.
AFR.
Brought to you by Action Industries, proud partner of LSU Athletics. ActionIndinc.com. That's where you find them online. You can find them on LinkedIn as well. And one of the things that I tell you often about Action Industries that I really respect the most is Action Industries, they know who they are as a business. They've been around since 1982. So in 42 years, they've really developed a reputation among the petrochemical and refinery markets. And so when it comes to those contractors, these industrial and commercial contractors, like their safety record is exemplary. The work that they do is exceptional, which is why they thrive on repeat business. Well, you don't keep getting hired for 42 years if you're not doing great work. That's Action Industries. But also they know who they are. There's some giant companies that do these mega projects, and they're not going to bid on a $200 million project. But if you have a 100-man job, that's their sweet spot. They're perfect for that. You need to get to know Action Industries. ActionIndinc.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
All right, rolling along here on a Friday edition of AFR. I once again cannot hear myself in my headphones. Linking up with Jack DeLongchamps, contributor for D1 Baseball. Contributor over there for D1 Baseball. Also, he hosts the Pencil Talk pod. I'm sure many of y'all have seen his work. It's quite entertaining. Jack's in town covering the LSU Arkansas series. He's at the box. He joins us right now. Jack, great to chat, man. Appreciate the time. How are you?
Oh man, I'm in Baton Rouge. It's another day in paradise. Appreciate you guys having me.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, there's definitely prettier days in Baton Rouge than we're dealing with right now. Set the scene for me right now at the box. I assume the tarp's on the field. It's been on there a lot, by the way, Jack, this season. What's it kind of looking like out there? And are you hearing anything about pushing back the start and when that might be?
I think that this is all going to clear out by 5:05. Now, I am a lifelong optimist. I have not heard anything, no murmurs up here in the press box about moving back quite yet. But I think it's, this rain has sat on us all day. I think it's going to clear out just in time because Mother Nature knows that we've got a freaking showdown on our hands as we get ready to rock and roll.
I love your optimism. The radar does not share your optimism, at least not the one that I just looked at. But all right, look, we'll roll with the optimism here. LSU fans are looking for a little bit of optimism. You've seen the team enough. What are your overall thoughts on the Tigers thus far heading into the final 2 weeks of the regular season?
Man, just so insanely talented. It's funny. I feel like every single SEC team at some point this year on Monday morning has scratched their head and gone, what the heck is wrong with our baseball team? Well, what's the reality? We have never seen a conference in the history of college baseball that has looked like this. I mean, it is terrifying to play in the same conference. It's got super regional vibes week in, week out. It's just difficult. So you drop a weekend loss here or there, guess what? It's happening all across the place. Texas had quite literally gotten off to the second fastest start in SEC history. They get swept last weekend. It happens. It's part of the sport. But with Jay Johnson at the helm, man, there should be no worries in Baton Rouge. It's an uber-talented roster with a head coach that cares so dearly. Man, LSU fans should be really excited. You're probably looking at yourself being on the bubble with the top national seed. Take care of business this weekend. Roll right into Hoover. And to me, this is a national host spot without question.
If it is, you have to get back down here for that. That's a scene unlike any other, sir. Unlike any other. Okay, let's talk about the opponent a little bit. Arkansas. I mean, you have to start offensively. The Alloy brothers have been absolutely insane. But what do you think is kind of the key outside of them? Because it is them. But if you had to point to something else that's just driven offensive success for Arkansas.
Well, I think that's really been. Pitching's been their calling card. Let's call a spade for really the last decade. And with Zach Root on Friday night, man, they've got one of the better Friday night guys in the country. But you're right, man. The Alloy brothers, you're looking at potentially a Golden Spikes winner. Yep. Offensively, man, they've been far more physical in a long time. We haven't seen an Arkansas offense kind of look like this, dating back to the days of big old Bobby, who's one of my favorite left-handed swings in college baseball. But offensively, to me, I think it's their ability to win in a plethora of ways. They can beat you with the long ball. They can manufacture runs. They move runners really well. They can take a bag here or there when the time calls for it. So I think it's the uniqueness, the diversity of this offense, which makes them so dangerous.
It'll be an interesting test for LSU starting pitching. Cade Anderson, Anthony Ianson, they're making up what looks like the best 1-2 punch in the country right now. Takeaway from what you saw from those two guys, specifically the last 2 weeks against potent lineups in Tennessee and Texas A&M.
Yeah, well, I get to sit down with Anthony yesterday, did a one-on-one with him that'll drop tomorrow before his start. There's this mid-major kind of chip on his shoulder, and he had talked about how much he had loved football and the competitive fire and spirit, and you could feel that from him. I think he pitches with that. Of like, hey, I like it when the lights shine brightest. I love getting to pitch in front of the biggest fan base in college baseball. I think that's why he misses football as dearly as he does. And then you almost, on the completely other end of the spectrum, go to Cade Anderson, who just seems so composed at all freaking times. Yeah. You can't tell if he's just thrown a no-hitter or given up, a 4 spot. And I think that's really dangerous I think it's really cool to have a guy that pitches with as much passion as Anthony does and is fired up. And then for Cade Anderson to kind of set the tone by towing the rubber, delivering the first pitch and going, well, if I got that guy on my team, I feel pretty dang good about my odds. So you're right. Outside the last 2 weeks, the depth of this staff, I think, is where they separate themselves. I'm sure LSU fans are waiting for that to kind of rear its head a little bit more, but the talent is inevitable going down the lineup for sure. And what they end up doing on Sundays can be a difference maker. But, when you get into regionals, it's that fourth game. And I think that's where LSU, has a wealth of riches and becomes really dangerous.
I want to ask you a couple things about some other games around the league this weekend, but one more on LSU Arkansas. Just, you have a feeling on how it goes? You have a prediction on who comes out on top this top 5 series?
I'm not just saying this because you dominated the ESPN Baton Rouge Nation. I'm not just saying it. 6-2 tonight, 7-3 tomorrow. Sunday, I got no feel.
Okay.
6-2, 7-3. That feels good to me.
Okay. All right. Look, man. Hey, look, I'm going to tell you, 6 has been a magic number for LSU this year. When they've scored 6 or more runs, they've lost one game all year. So if LSU, if 6-2, 7-3, if that's LSU on the right side, I mean,
I'm telling you,
could point to the Tigers. All right, Jack.
Let me tell you this too.
Go ahead.
Before you roll there, not to cut you off. Stephen Milam is the X factor this weekend. Really excited to see the freshman Derek Curriel. But Stephen Milam, every time I've gotten to see this young man play over the last year, every big moment he finds himself in the box, and it feels like he delivers every weekend. This is why this weekend, this is the matchup everyone's talking about. And when that happens, to me, it's all about monster. So, that's your guy to watch this weekend.
He has definitely had a flair for the moment so far in his LSU career, and everyone's looking for a breakout for him right now. And this would be the perfect weekend to get Monster Milam back going. Look, Jack, the SEC, there's no shortage of storylines ever. I mean, top 8 national seeds, regional host, national title contender. We could talk about all of it, but I think the thing that everybody really wants to know is Missouri going to go 0-30?
We talked about it at the beginning, didn't we? I've been an optimist since I was 6 years old.
Yeah.
Started walking around glass half full. Yeah, they don't win a game.
No,
Not one.
You got me with the Lee Corso headgear fake there, basically. Like,
not so fast.
Yeah, not so fast. I mean, that has just been something. I mean, it's unheard of in baseball. You eventually in baseball, you something breaks your way, and you get a win somewhere along the line. I mean, I think the record for the least amount of wins in the league is 6. So, I mean, they got to at least get one to stay away from that. To, like, as soon as this weekend, they could set the record. Yeah. And, I mean, it looks rough. Isn't
it? It's such a testament to this league, though, man. Like,
yeah.
Hey, here's the deal. Social media is not a real place, so people on there can't hurt my feelings.
That's true.
I said about 2, you just can't. 2 years ago, I made a comment about how I felt like the SEC was like playing AA baseball, and I got ripped apart by Major League Baseball fans. Like, oh, you have no idea, professional, blah, blah. I could not stand 10 toes down more aggressively behind that take than I do today. Yes, this sport is you can't measure it. Like, it's a game of inches, and it's a weird bounce here or there. Not in the SEC. Like, it's just not. If Missouri played in the ACC or the Big Ten, they would not have a good record. I'm not demanding that it's the SEC that's torn apart, but like in this league, they're just in a different stratosphere than everybody else, which is a total bummer because you hate to see that for those kids and for those seniors to go out this way. But I'm trying to find the silver lining, and I think it's just the fact that the SEC is so damn deep, it's terrifying.
I like to see history, even if it's the wrong side of history. I like to see things that have never happened before. So, nothing against Missouri. I'm kind of rooting for it. On to a more serious note, I'd love a thought on a couple of the bigger series in the league as well. Tennessee, the Vols have fallen on some really hard times. They've lost 3 or 4 series. They got Vanderbilt coming in, who's hot as all get out. Is this the weekend the Vols can bounce back and get back on track under Tony V?
Yeah, I think so. I understand, especially that streak happening at home, which makes it that much more peculiar. You get Liam Doyle, You get J.D. Thompson tonight. It's a perfect environment for Liam Doyle. But this is going to sound crazy. And as tight as I am with some Tennessee fans, they really think I'm crazy. I think this stretch is the best thing that could have happened to this team. I really do. Like, if you want long-term success, if you want the opportunity to go back-to-back, last year's team was so talented, obviously, that wins the national championship. But what made him so special is you had 5 or 6 guys that were on that 22 team who fell short in the Super Regional, who thought, many said, that were the best regular season college baseball team of all time because of the record, and they had no villain mantra, and they captured so much attention in the baseball world. Well, they lose. They don't get it done. And that class of kids gets to win a national championship last year. That's culture, right? That's your back down. That's your locker room. Well, this year, someone joked about, hey, there might be more big leaguers on this Tennessee roster than the one last year. But guess what? That doesn't win in college baseball. That doesn't win in sports. You got to have that culture. You have to have that locker room. And I think you're learning a lot about that leadership panel and their captains and how do they respond to this. And if they are able to respond, I really do believe it puts them in a better position moving forward because you're right, Tim Corbin and that nasty rivalry in the state of Tennessee, R.J. Austin at the top of the lineup is a freaking superstar.
Yeah, he is.
Pitching has been really good, and Tennessee's offense has struggled of late. So look for Andrew Fisher and Gavin Keelan and that crop of really talented transfer stars to wake up this weekend because I really do believe they will.
Last one for you, Jack, and your time very much appreciated and enjoyed the conversation. Texas, they host Florida. Texas coming off that sweep at the hands of Arkansas. Sully's boys are hot coming into Austin. Any cause for concern with Texas maybe licking their wounds a little too much after what happened in Fayetteville?
Yeah, no concern. I think the only question mark is, will Florida really, really wants and needs this series? I think Florida's taken themselves off the bubble, RPI at 16 in the nation. So they're good, but I think they're thinking bigger, right? If they can't go on a crazy 5-1 run, 6-0 run at the end of the year, can they find a way to talk themselves into a regional host site? So for Texas, it's like, hey, we're good. We're probably the bona fide number 1 seed nationally anyways. Don't fall asleep. The only concern is, man, losing your Friday night guy, Jared Spencer, that sucks. And then Max Ballou, Golden Spikes hopeful. Like, there's not another team in the country. Injuries happen, but they lost their best All-American Friday night guy and their best All-American right fielder. A lot of hope, though, as Max Ballou has started to kind of get back, and that hand looks like it might allow him to be able to sneak back in for Hoover potentially. That's exciting for Texas fans, but man, 14 SEC teams to make the NCAA tournament. I don't think any of them should be concerned because of what I've seen so far on the SEC trail this year. It just feels like everyone's better than the Nets. So no worries in Austin.
Yeah, there's no rest in this league ever, it feels like. But that's why it's the best, and that's why we all get so hyped up to follow it and cover it because it is extremely entertaining. He's Jack DeLongchamps. Pencil Talk Pod contributes to D1Baseball.com as well as the 11.7 podcast as well. Y'all check him out. He's everywhere, and if you see him at the box this weekend, give him a shout. Tell him hello, man. He'll probably be carrying a pencil. Thank you, Jack.
No, probably. I definitely will, man. Hey, I'd love to see you this weekend as well. Your words are too kind. I appreciate the time, brother.
For sure, man. We can link up. I'll be out there Friday and Saturday. So, thanks for the time, and we'll do it again soon.
Absolutely, looking forward to it.
All right, that is Jack DeLongchamps again. Pencil Talk Pod, D1Baseball.com contributor and 11.7 podcast as well. Does great work for all of them. I really enjoyed that conversation. You can tell, great energy there from Jack. We're gonna grab a break. Come back on the other side. What roster hole are we overlooking for the New Orleans Saints? We'll talk about that next on AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. Hey, y'all. Mother's Day's on Sunday. You can go get mom roses, and they're going to die in a week. Or you can go to Clegg's and buy mom rose bushes to plant in front or back that will produce beautiful, bursting blooms for years to come that she can enjoy. Not sure what to get her? Cool. Go to Clegg's, get mom a Clegg's gift card. Let her choose what she wants. Maybe it's not flowers. Maybe it's any of the outdoor decor, like the tuned wind chimes, which are an amazing accent piece to any outdoor space. If you've never seen them, you got to go check them out. They got them at Clegg's Nursery. Siga near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Y'all, they've been serving Baton Rouge for more than 60 years. So get in your garden and just plant something and take care of Mom with this Mother's Day at Clegg's Nursery.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Always a pleasure to tell you about our friends at the Williamson Eye Center. Check them out online at williamsoneye.com. They've got locations all over the greater Baton Rouge area. On the Baton Rouge General Campus, you turn off a Bluebonnet onto Picardy, you make that right. And then right there at the stop sign, the building on the right, the first two floors, that's the Williamson Eye Center. State-of-the-art dry eye center, and it's full service. Of course, they have their state-of-the-art surgery center there where you can have your LASIK or whatever surgical procedure you're having. But they have your standard annual eye exam as well at the Williamson Eye Center. Learn more at williamsoneye.com. The thing I tell you every day is take the advice that I was given and change your life. To give yourself the gift of sight is absolutely incredible. If you're someone like me who spent your life with contacts or glasses, there is a way to be done with it forever. williamsoneye.com. Go see Dr. Blake Williamson for that free consultation. 924-2020. 924-2020 or williamsoneye.com for the Williamson Eye Center.
It's After Further Review on a Friday, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. If you're looking for Matt and Terrio, apologies. Matt's at the Barrett Sports Media conference. Actually, he's flying back, but Matt was at Barrett Sports Media convention here the last 3 days. Terrio had track obligations this afternoon as well. So flying solo here, but it's been a great show, and we're halfway home. we've talked an awful lot about roster holes for the New Orleans Saints. And again, a lot of that energy has been focused on wide receiver and specifically the big-bodied wide receiver to be your possession receiver. But that's not the only one. There's one more on this team that is large, and it needs addressing. And the Saints have taken a few steps to address it, but is that enough? And in certain steps that they have taken, it's a gamble. And there's a couple names on the free market that I want to talk about. The position is edge rusher. Remember, before Tyler Shuck's odds surged on draft day for him to be the 9th overall pick for the New Orleans Saints, or for him to at least be drafted by the New Orleans Saints, everyone thought it was edge rusher. It was Mykel Williams, remember? Because that's a position that you desperately need to address. You extended Carl Granderson. You extended Chase Young. Not the best contract, but you gave it to him. And then outside of that, there wasn't much there for the Saints. And you need production off the edge. You feel great about the interior with Brian Brzee. You brought in Devon Godchaux. Like, you feel great there. Brian Brzee led your team in sacks a year ago with 7.5. That should tell you all you need to know about your edge position. So again, the steps you took to address it were extending Chase Young. You already had extended Granderson. And then a free agent moves. Sign Chris Rumpf. Okay, I can get behind that. Look, man, I look at the production there, and it's not great. Just 3 sacks in his career over 3 seasons. He's dealt with some injury problems, but that's a guy Brandon Staley drafted to Los Angeles. That's a guy he trusts. He knows the player. That's a Brandon Staley sign. Okay, I can deal with that. Let's see if you can finally get the most out of him in New Orleans. But again, that's not a sure thing, and it's a bit of a gamble. You also brought in Jonah Williams. Jonah Williams has played 4 years in the NFL. He has 2.5 career sacks. He played with 3 different teams a year ago and did not record a sack in 2024. That's not great depth. Isaiah Foskey has been an absolute bust of a second-round draft pick. We all know that. Cam Jordan, the production has decreased. Look, I love Cam Jordan just as much as everybody else. Cam Jordan Day, that was awesome. He deserves it. He's a Saints Hall of Famer. He's probably a Pro Football Hall of Famer, but call it what it is. Cam Jordan is an aging veteran that has been reduced to a role player on this team. His last 2 seasons, he doesn't even equal the 8.5 sacks he had in 2022, combined in 23 and 24. You need somebody else there. So how do you go address it? There's free agency, and then there's what you did in the draft. The Saints take Fadil Diggs, 7th round. And look, it's going to be really interesting to watch him throughout rookie minicamp, see what he can do. But that's a gamble. Jasheen Davis, we talked about Diggs and Davis with Ross Jackson on Thursday's show. And he's really high on them, really high on Davis, potentially making this team as an undrafted rookie, which, I'll remind you, Carl Granderson did. But again, that's a gamble. It could happen. But can you go get a more sure thing? And the Saints can. There's a couple names specifically that I want to throw out individually, and one of them I favor more than the other. So it's not like you haven't made moves. The moves you've made just don't really inspire confidence. And if you're trying to put your best foot forward and win the division in spite of yourself, then let's talk about 2 guys, Matt Judon and Zadarius Smith. The Saints have $27 million in cap space. Zadarius Smith's going to cost a little bit more. That's for sure. And when you look at it, for Smith, durability's been there fine. He's played in all 17 games the last 2 years. The production, still pretty steady in 2024. 9 sacks, which would put him as the leader on your team if he can replicate that. And what was encouraging about it, it was coming off of a year where he had 5.5. He's 32. He's up there in age. But that's the market the Saints are going to command right now, is aging veterans. The key is, can you find one with a little bit of, production left? Zadarius Smith could do that, but he's a bigger name. He's going to command more money. Do you want to commit those assets to him? The other one, and the one that I think is more realistic, is Matt Judon. Spent last year with the Falcons, so he's got familiarity with the division. Obviously, a great run with New England, pretty good run with Baltimore. A year ago, 5.5 sacks for Atlanta. Played in all 17 games, started 15 of them. 5.5 sacks would put him right in line there with Chase Young and Carl Granderson. They each had 5.5. So if you can add another guy there off the edge, quality, capable of 5.5 sacks, that's great. Same age as Zadarius Smith, but he's going to be cheaper. The average market value right now per Spotrac for a guy like Judon is $4.2 million. 1-year deal, that's great. You bring him in. And here's what you're honestly hoping for. Him to be more of a depth piece. Because Chase Young, Granderson, you've committed the money to those guys. They're your starters. And you're hoping that one of them blossoms and kind of bursts onto the scene. Specifically Chase Young. He's young still. You know the talent that's there. You saw it at points a season ago. Can he take the next step? That's what you're hoping for when you commit that contract to it. And if he does that, then all you really need is a depth piece like a Matthew Judon to go in there and who's a proven commodity, and bolster that with Cam Jordan. Those two could be your veterans and your role players, while they're two younger guys, take on the bulk of the load. But I would even say, man, Granderson's a gamble, because you've just seen it in spurts with him where it's like, man, if he could put it together for a whole season, and he hasn't quite been able to do that. You're looking for more certainty. And being the Saints right now, you're not going to be able to go out and, for one, the market doesn't, command it right now. There's just not that big edge rusher on the market. And even if there was, you couldn't afford him, and you're not attractive to him. So you got to create that type of guy in the aggregate with a bunch of different players. I mean, it looks like you've tried to do that. The problem is the guys you've added, like Jonah Williams, like Chris Rump, they don't have any production to prove that they can do that. Judon does. On top of the familiarity with the division and all of that. That's the preferred route I would like to see the Saints go, is to go sign Matt Judon to a 1-year deal for $4.5 million. He could be a role player, depth piece for you. You have two good veterans in him and Jordan doing that. You lean on Granderson and Young. And you know what? If Fidel Diggs hits, if Jasheem Davis does make the roster as an undrafted rookie and you actually get contributions from him, well, then you could potentially turn the room into a strength going forward as you continue this rebuild. It's a big position of need for the Saints. They still need to address a little bit more of a surefire deal. You still got time to do it. But my preference would be go sign the veteran free agent here. You have the cap space to do it. Go ahead. All right. We're going to grab a break. Come back on the other side. We'll wrap up hour number 2 of AFR on a Friday with Tigers and the Pros. Stay here.
After further review.
AFR is brought to you by the Watermark Hotel and the Renaissance Hotel, two beautiful hotel properties in Baton Rouge, the Watermark downtown, the Renaissance Southtown right there on Bluebonnet. And when it comes to hosting your event, both the Watermark and the Renaissance are perfect. The Watermark is a gorgeous, elegant spot in downtown Baton Rouge. That wedding reception, that smaller gathering, that meeting space, they can do it. They've kept so much of the history and tradition of that iconic building while modernizing it. The Gregory is a great restaurant inside of the Watermark as well. And then, of course, the Renaissance Hotel, Southtown, right there on Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge. It's more modern. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous hotel property at the Renaissance Hotel where they have meeting space that can accommodate up to 500 people, 7,000 square foot of meeting space, perfectly located right off of Bluebonnet and I-10. It's the Watermark and the Renaissance Hotels in Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wild.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. You know, when we talk about Relief Windows every day, I always say windows, doors, siding. And now shutters as well. They do your indoor shutters. Same thing as the windows. Custom made, measured to fit your windows, custom fit for your windows, lifetime warranty on your windows, your shutters. But Brandon, you often hear say their number one product is customer satisfaction. And that's not just a catchy line. That's not a cliche phrase. Have an experience with Relief Windows and you'll understand. They go to the ends of the earth to make sure their customers are thrilled with the work they do. As a matter of fact, Relief Windows never takes $1 from you. You will not, no deposit, no down payment. They take all the risk. They will not take $1 until you're thrilled with the work they do. Who else does that? Only Relief Windows. Check them out online at ReliefWindows.com.
Wrapping up hour number 2 after further review presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, Aaron Nola toes the rubber tonight for the Philadelphia Phillies. They are in Cleveland to face the Guardians. The numbers overall in the season for Nola don't look great, right? 1-5, a 4.61 ERA, but he is throwing the ball much better. His last 2 outings, 13 innings pitched, just 1 earned run. He's starting to figure it out a little bit. Hopefully a good night for him against the Guardians. We'll have to give you an update on that when we're back here on Monday. Kevin Gausman, he is also towing the rubber tonight For the Toronto Blue Jays, they take on the Seattle Mariners. Gosman is 2-3 with a 3.8 ERA. Coming off a really good outing as well against Cleveland, as a matter of fact. 6 shutout with 9 punch-outs. He's starting to turn it around also. See if he can get back to 500 in the win-loss column there. Out at the Truist Championship on the PGA Tour, that's where we find Sam Burns. Burns shot 5 under in round number 1, turned in an even par 70 here in round 2. Not many guys going low, actually, in the field at all, minus Shane Lowry. But it was 2 birdies, 2 bogeys for Burnsy, gives him the even par 70. He is tied for 15th, 7 shots off the lead, but heading into the weekend, see if he can't make a run at it. That is Tigers in the pros here on this Friday. Almost said Thursday. It is. Oh, man. It is not Thursday. Thank goodness it's not Thursday, gang. Thank goodness. It is Friday, and we're about to put a lid here on hour number 2. Ben Mintz going to join us straight up 5 o'clock, give you some plays for the college baseball weekend. A lot of good series. Auburn did polish off South Carolina. We were talking about that game a little bit early on. Gamecocks down 1 heading into the 9th. Got first and second with nobody out. Was only able to push across 1 to tie it, and then Auburn walked it off in the bottom of the 9th inning. So Auburn, they continue to roll along. They'll go for the sweep in about 45 minutes or so. That's a doubleheader being played on the Plains. We'll give you a look at the rest of the weekend and some picks. Ben Mintz, Barstool Sports, he joins the show. Just kick off hour number 3. That's next here on a Friday edition of AFR.
After further review.
Brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawbillsTire.com. 18 locations in South Louisiana. Find the location nearest you at ShawbillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name brand tires at wholesale prices. They will always find a way to get you the best possible price for the best possible tires on the road. That's what they do at Shawbills. And when they get you in by selling you the best tires, the cheapest price possible, they're going to treat you like family, and they're going to treat you so good you're going to keep coming back year after year after year every time you need anything for your vehicle. Tires rotated, oil change, check engine light on, brakes squeaking, whatever's wrong with your vehicle, bring it to Shawbills. Let them give it the once-over, and you can always schedule online, so it's convenient. ShawbillsTire.com. Find the location nearest you at ShawbillsTire.com. Shop tires online at ShawbillsTire.com. Be sure to ask about the Shawbills credit card as well, because you can save $50 off your first purchase when you use the Shawbills credit card only at Shawbills.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
I'm Doug Brown. After taking the first two games of the series in Cleveland, the Pacers bring a 2-0 lead into tonight's Game 3 in Indianapolis. It's an uphill climb for the Cavaliers, especially since ESPN's Brian Windhorst believes Donovan Mitchell is fighting a calf injury.
He was exhausted by the end of the game the other night. He played 36 minutes. They didn't play him 44. The reason he looks so exhausted, I think, is because of what they're asking from him and potentially what's going on with his calf muscle. So it is a series of unfortunate events that is falling on the Cavs right now.
Brian Windhorst, Game 3, Cavaliers and Pacers coverage starts at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and TV. Then, also on ESPN, Game 3 for the Thunder and Nuggets in Denver, with that series tied. In the Stanley Cup playoffs tonight, Game 3, Maple Leafs and Panthers. Toronto holding a 2-0 series lead. Game 2, Stars and Jets after Dallas took Game 1. Dolphins' first-round pick, defensive lineman Kenneth Grant out of Michigan, will get a 4-year contract worth almost $22 million. He was the 13th overall pick.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance flexes to fit your business's needs. From quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options, Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's rock! Go!
Off and running hour number 3 after further review here on a Friday. We're presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Happy to have you with us. You're just knocking off work. Welcome into the show. Thank you for making us part of your drive home. Jacob Beck, Paul O'Neill along for the ride, and we are glad to have you along for the ride as well. 2 hours in the books, 1 more to go. College baseball. Doesn't look good at the box right now. Tarp's out on the field. It's still raining. The forecast is kind of worsening. It's going to be another late night and probably early morning at the box, but they're going to want to get it in tonight, and it will be certainly worth it. This is the time of the show where we're going to talk some baseball around the country. We welcome our guy Ben Mintz from Barstool. Mintzy, how's it going, man?
Doing well. Actually had a good time with Mr. Moscona yesterday. He was up in Chicago for the Barrett Sports Media Conference. Kicked it with him a good bit, and just excited for a big weekend of baseball. I will say, Matt, Musso, they did not do us favors. A lot of early starts today. A lot of games going on already.
And damn weather. Mincy, did you happen to catch the end of the Auburn-South Carolina game today?
Okay.
Not the one.
I didn't see the ending. I saw it was 10-10 last I saw. What happened at the end?
I'm so glad you asked. So Auburn had runners at first and third with 1 out in the bottom of the ninth, tied game, as you said. They laid down a squeeze bunt fielded by the pitcher, and instead of throwing it to the plate, he turned and tried to throw it to first base, and the winning run scored, and South Carolina lost.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, my. My God.
It's all over Twitter. Yep. You can find it. It's really Like, that is a big yikes, man. That's tough. It's not going well for Paul over there, man. Not even a little bit. So, yeah. I mean, you don't think it could get worse, Mincy, than losing 24-2? Somehow that kind of feels worse.
Yeah, that Auburn's hot too, though.
They are.
Man, what a bounce back year for them. They had a horrible year last year. I mean, they're in the top 10 right now. They can hit, but they've got the 2 transfer starting pitchers have really kind of elevated them. But yeah, this year it's tough for South Carolina. I know they're having an awful year. I don't think they're like the worst team ever. Somebody's just got to lose in this SEC, man. I mean, it's just such a tough league, and Missouri can only lose 30 games.
I was about to say that's the worst team ever. Yeah, Missouri's the worst team ever. That's Mincy, you think they're going to go 0-30?
Yes,
dude.
They got A&M this weekend and Mississippi State next weekend. Find a win.
I know. You and I were talking about the Aggies earlier, man. They're that one hurt. That one really hurt on Sunday. But that's a team that's going to be the one you just don't want to see show up in your regional somewhere. Wherever you are, you see Texas A&M pop up on selection Monday, and you're just going to be like, crap. But
I agree.
Yeah.
They're hot, man. That was a great series last weekend in College Station. I know what you mean. You said to me earlier off the air, LSU really let that first game get away.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were up 2 in the 8th in that second one, and they allowed 4 runs in the bottom of the 8th. In the third game, I'm sorry, in the rubber match. But still a big series for LSU this weekend. I mean, I hate to hear that weather, but in a weird way, I like to hear it because, like you see that magical moment with that Bear Jones home run at 1:17 a.m. a couple weeks ago. Something about LSU late night rowdy games it just kind of feels right.
Yeah, it does. I mean, that's, we were talking about it earlier. I'm like, well, if you're superstitious, 1 a.m.'s actually been pretty good to LSU this year. They're undefeated. I mean, they played Mississippi State until 1 a.m. twice, beat them. They beat Tennessee. I'm like, well, look, I mean, if you're superstitious like baseball guys tend to be, that's not the worst thing in the world. But all right, Mincy, let's go ahead. Let's make some picks. Beck, hit me with the open.
It's time to cash some tickets. Let's preview the college baseball weekend with Ben Mintz of Barstool Sports, presented by the DraftKings Sportsbook.
Let's get a look at our standings here. Mincy, none of us had a good week last week. It was all losing records. Scone turned in an 0-for. Bagel, 0-for-3. You and I both 1-2. So for the season, Scone's at 9-2. I'm at 10-8. You're 9-12. Like you said, a lot of early starts today. Didn't really do us a bunch of favors with the card, but let's see what you got. What's pick number 1?
Pick number 1, I'm going under 10.5 in Oklahoma, Kentucky. Oklahoma's got 2 really, really good pitchers. Kentucky kind of plays a grinded out small ball style. I feel like that's a Friday night kind of 4-3 type game. So I don't see that one being too high scoring.
All right, so you are going under in Tennessee. Jeez, you're going under in Oklahoma and Kentucky. I am going with Texas tonight on the run line, -1.5. I know Florida's hot. I get it. Sully and his boys, they're making a run. Texas has been a juggernaut at the dish this season. I know no Jared Spencer, but I'd look for Riojas to really bounce back after easily his worst outing of the season. So I like Texas to win that one by more than 1.5, -$1.15. Give me the Longhorns.
All right. My next one, I'm going to go to that Missouri A&M game.
Yes.
A&M's minus 2,800 tonight to win, dude. I mean, I've just never seen anything like it, but I'm actually going to go over 12.5 in this game. I know Prager did pitch a really good game last week against LSU after y'all talked about how much he'd been struggling, but I think A&M may get the 12.5 themselves, and I mean, Missouri hopefully scraps together a couple runs, so we'll go over 12.5.
Mincy, I love that pick. I actually almost made that same exact pick because Prager's been hit at times this year, and Missouri's been playing closer games lately too, so they've been scoring a tad. I like that play an awful lot. I might actually hop on with you there and give a little tail. All right, let's see. I'm gonna go with the. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I'm gonna go with Oklahoma. Actually, okay. I'm gonna go up to Kentucky. I'm gonna go with Oklahoma on the money line, 160. I know that's not the best juice. I think our cutoff's 180, right? Isn't that what we always do? So I'm right in under the line. I love Kyson Witherspoon. That game against Ole Miss a week ago, him and Hunter Elliott dueling, that was fantastic theater. Look, LSU didn't play, so you got to watch a good bit of it. I like Kyson Witherspoon in Oklahoma. I'll back him against Kentucky.
All right, my third game. Look, I had a couple I was debating, but I'm gonna. Now that you told me about this rain today, I believe in the late night Alex box magic.
Let's go, Mincy.
I'm taking LSU minus 135. Kate Anderson's been dealing. I know Arkansas had best. You could honestly argue that Arkansas had the most impressive weekend of the entire season of any team last weekend, what they did to Texas. I do think Arkansas is good, but they'd lost 2 out of 3 or 4 weeks in a row. Before that, LSU at home, Kate Anderson going, minus 135, not the toughest price, so I'm going to take the Tigers.
All right, I'm going off the wall here, like totally off the wall. But the Xavier Musketeers are a sneaky team. And this is also selfish because it would also kind of help LSU's resume out a little bit as well. But they're on the road at Creighton, plus $1.35. I'm going to take a flyer on the Xavier Musketeers to upset the Blue Jays tonight over there in Omaha. Straight up Xavier on the money line. Sorry, Paul. I know you're trying to write that down over there, and I just fumbled all over that. My bad. All right, so that's what we have. Matt's not participating this week, so he'll have an 0-0 week there. Mincy, what you got coming up, man? Hey, how was saw a bunch of pictures. How was the bet gala over there at Barstool?
Man, the bet gala, so I was out in Scottsdale, Arizona. They had it at DraftKings. It was Dave Portnoy's idea. Look, the one thing, you never see all of us dressed up as a company, and everybody got decked out. There were a ton of celebrities there. DraftKings did an awesome job hosting it. I mean, they had like tomahawk ribeyes and lobster, and did it big. And so it was a cool event. I mean, honestly, I was pumped I got invited because, it felt like we had a lot of our company there, but like not everybody made it. So I felt like, hey, maybe I'm not doing that bad at work. But man, great event. The people railed on me. Like a lot of people wore like flashy stuff. I wore a black tie suit to a black tie event, and people said they thought I was dressing for a funeral. I don't know. I thought I was looking pretty dang good. I didn't see the argument.
Yeah, no. I mean, like you said, black tie to black tie kind of makes sense to me.
That's what I thought. But it was a really fun event. Really enjoyed that. And then, like I said, I had a good time at the Barrett Sports Media thing with Matt yesterday. It was good to kick it with him. We went to a big happy hour, ESPN Chicago happy hour at Harry Carey's after. So it's been a good week. I'm going to chill, man. I'm watching college baseball all weekend.
Hell yeah.
I think I got a Charleston trip next weekend, and then like the summer basically kicks off next weekend, and it's about to get crazy the next few months. And so I think this is a great weekend to chill. Right now, Ole Miss and Mississippi State doubleheader today because of weather. 2-1 Ole Miss in the fourth, but I think we got a weather delay. But watching that one real close, Ole Miss has a horrible history in Starkville. Horrible in the series. It's been bad for years. And Ole Miss, I think you need 2 out of 3. I think 17 and 13 is the magic number to host a regional, and so you need 2 out of 3 this weekend and next weekend at home against Auburn, which that's a tough path, but definitely pulling for it.
Hey, Mincy, are you going to make it to Hoover or Omaha this year?
Omaha, maybe, not Hoover, which hurts me too, because I don't know where you stand. I was talking to Moscona about it. The SEC tourney in Hoover.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I love that they switched it to single elimination finally, because I've always just hated the gassing out your pitchers before the NCAA tournament. And so I know they moved it up to 16 teams, but I like the fact that it's a single elimination now. But now I'm going to chill. Omaha, I'm going to try I think Omaha kind of depends on who makes it, but I think there's a good shot to make Omaha. Man, I'm honestly just excited. We just suffered for 7 months here with the weather.
Yeah.
It's finally starting to get better. I mean, it bleeds into May, and so I'm going to try to soak up the beautiful Chicago summer as much as I can.
I hear that, man. Enjoy that. Just take some time off, chill, do that. And like you said, watch a lot of college baseball this weekend, man. There should be some great series. All right, Mincy. Well, we'll link up again next week, man.
Yeah.
Good luck on the picks. Hopefully we all have a better week than last week. That's not what we're looking for.
How was my guy Jack on there earlier?
Man, Jack was great, man. A lot of good energy. Love that. The first time I've ever talked to Jack. So I'll be out at the box this weekend. Hopefully run into him for sure. So Jack was awesome. Jack, thanks for the recommendation for sure.
Yeah, good deal. I'm telling you, he is going to be a superstar in college baseball media. I've never been more sure of anything in my life.
The energy is palpable. I promise you that. That guy, never a bad day, it seems, which I love. I love that. You need that type of energy in your life.
Yeah, he's out there. He's close. Coach Jay Johnson loves him too. He gets all access to LSU all the time.
Perfect, man. All right, Mintzy, you take it easy. Have a great weekend. We'll do it again next week for the regular season finale. That's crazy. Yeah.
All right.
We'll link up then. Later, man. All right, that has been Mintz. It's Out Further Review presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar on a Friday, looking for some type of update on tonight's game. And there just isn't anything as of now. Oh, wait, look at that. 56 seconds ago. Due to inclement weather in the area, we will not start at 6:30. An updated start time will be provided when it becomes available. I feel shocked. It's the right move. You're not going to send your ace out there, whether you're Arkansas or LSU. Wait till you have the window and play the game. And if it's a late night, it's a late night. Have a few extra beers. Go get some dinner. See y'all all at the box. But they are officially now in a weather delay at Alex Box Stadium. It's Groundhog Day once again, right? Don't we all just feel like Bill Murray in Groundhog Day? All friggin' year. All right. Grab a break. Come back with more on the other side. Some LSU football next here on AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Duplessis Builders, DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net. Y'all, whenever we talk about the pool building process, I don't want this to be boring to you, but it's important that I point out how Duplessis goes about their process, because it gives color and description to why they were able to give a 10-year workmanship warranty. Like when some companies say, we'll build your pool in 2 weeks, like that's not a real thing. At Duplessis, the excavation takes 2 to 3 days. Then they'll shoot the gunite. Takes 21 days for gunite, for concrete to cure. So they're not going to proceed until those 21 days have passed. The product will last longer, so they're not going to rush the process. After you let that tiling and coping cure for 2 weeks, then you add water. Before you add water, then you plaster. So it's why a lot of pools start to fail in 2 to 3 years, because they don't do it right. You'll never worry about that with Duplessis Builders.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, Ice Cubes.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Brought to you by Parish Construction and Roofing. The Louisiana legislature is in session, and there's actually a bill right now that would eliminate door knockers in Louisiana, make it illegal for roofing companies to go door to door knocking to solicit business. As members of the Louisiana Roofing Contractors Association and Parish Construction and Roofing, we wholeheartedly endorse that legislation because we will never door knock. That's also such a way that some of the less reputable companies get around and take advantage of people. And we hear about it every year during storms. And you have out of town companies come in. If you need a roof repair, replacement, you got an issue, ignore the door knockers. Call a reputable company that's been in the community, that's community related, community based. We'd love it if you give us the opportunity to earn your business. We're never coming to knock on your door. When you're ready and you want to give us a shout, we'd be more than happy to help in every way that we can. Go to the homepage of our website. You see a testimonial from Coach Kim Mulkey right there. We've done work for Coach. Do business with someone you know. Coach Mulkey did. We'd love to help you as well. Parish Construction and Roofing. Go to parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com.
Back here, AFR, on a Friday, wrapping up your week. Musso in for Moscona. Moscona's back on Monday. LSU football today on the recruiting trail. Not great news. Hayward Howard Jr., cornerback out of Edna Carr, 4-star guy, top cornerback in the state of Louisiana, committed to Texas. It's not all that unexpected. LSU got in really late on Howard Jr. What is interesting is the decision wasn't supposed to be until the summer, and he moved that up and made the decision here today. But, I mean, look, when you get in late on a guy, chances are it doesn't normally go your way, even if it is in-state. And, look, you've seen LSU have some success there, throw a late offer at an in-state guy, and it's the one he's been waiting for and all of that. But, I mean, also some guys just want to leave. 6'3", 180 pounds. I mean, he fits that, that long, lengthy guy that Corey Raymond loves in his secondary. But, I mean, the thing for me really is I just hate seeing kids from Carr get away. Carr's been so good to LSU and has been such a pipeline, and you've had so much success already in this class with Richard Anderson, with Aiden Hall from Carr, that, man, it'd have been great to just get another Cougar in the boat there. But Hayward Howard, he picks Texas. We'll see if he sticks there, how hot and heavy LSU stays on him now that he's made his decision. That remains to be seen as well. But also, man, when you look at LSU from a defensive back standpoint, I mean, look, you got Havon Finney Jr. in this class already. Remember, he reclassified from 2027, where he was the number 1 cornerback in the nation, into this class. So he's a high 4-star. Still, even reclassifying, top 50 guy in the entire country. Again, long, rangy, lengthy guy that Corey Raymond loves. So you feel great there, and you'll continue to recruit well at the defensive back position. It does sting when you let the number 11 player in the state go and end up at an SEC school first and foremost. But when you look at LSU and the position that they are in recruiting right now, really no fret, because Brian Kelly and his staff, Austin Thomas, all those guys, I mean, they are killing it. LSU sits with the number 2 class in the country right now per on 3, and you would expect that to only strengthen as they get into official visits come June and in July months, and then you'll start to see more and more guys pop. Kids want to make their decision before their senior season of high school football, obviously. So there could be a run here coming for LSU, and I think what most everybody's really focused on right now is the season ahead and making a run to the college football playoff, because it's been a while, and this is your best chance in a long time, probably really your best chance, realistically, since you did it last in 2019. And I mean, you were preseason ranked number 6 that year, and I think that's where the focus really remains and should for LSU. But, when there's recruiting news, good or bad, we'll always bring it to you today. A little bit more on the sour note. Haywood Howard Jr. out of Carr, number 1 cornerback in the state of Louisiana, moves his decision date up and picks the Texas Longhorns. But we'll see. We'll continue to keep you updated there. But LSU, they definitely remain in a good spot. If you're just joining us, the LSU-Arkansas game officially in a weather delay. I mean, I don't want to play weatherman. I went and got a broadcast journalism degree, not in meteorology, but it doesn't look great looking at the radar. That's for sure. I mean, I'll get a quick refresh here. Just try to pass along anything that I can for you just here in the moment. 70% chance of rain still at 6 p.m. 60% chance of rain still at 7. At 8 is when it starts to taper off down into the 40s. Looking at the radar right now. I need to zoom out. That's aggressive. Earlier it looked like it was going to kind of clear out of here by 6:30, and no, that's just not the case. So we'll keep you updated. Look, this is the right move. I know nobody wants to hear that. You don't want to be at the box super late. You want things to go on time. So do they. But LSU is not going to throw Cade Anderson out there with a chance of the game being stopped, and Arkansas is not going to throw Zach Root out there with a chance of the game being stopped. There is too much on the line this weekend for both teams. Arkansas can lock up a top 8 seed this weekend. Arkansas, depending on what happens with Texas over in Austin, can claw closer to locking up an SEC championship this weekend. You know what LSU's playing for. You go a long way into locking up a top 8 national seed with wins this weekend against the Hogs. There is just far too much on the line to risk not having your best guys fully ready to go. Now, what I will say is getting this game in Friday night is of the utmost importance, because for one, you don't really have a window to play a doubleheader this weekend. There is rain in the forecast during the day, Saturday and on Sunday. So you really don't have a window to play two. And not only that, if you were, that would push Cade Anderson to Saturday again, and then you would be asking him to go Saturday to Thursday to pitch against South Carolina next week. 2 days short rest. That's just not in the cards either. So this game needs to be played tonight, Friday, and you need to make sure you have the perfect window in order to get that done, and that's what they're going to do. Could it be 8:30? Yeah, possibly. But that's better than running Cade Anderson out there. It rains hard at 7:30 or whatnot, and you have to stop the ball game, and you've burned your ace, and so is Arkansas. That's just not a position either team wants to be in, given everything that is on the line. This series deserves 9 innings uninterrupted each day, and that's what they're going to go forth and try to give us. And it might be a late start, but for me, it's absolutely the right call. In the meantime, like I said, man, get yourself some drinks, some dinner, wait it out. There's plenty of great college baseball on. South Carolina and Auburn are back underway in the second game of their doubleheader. South Carolina is leading, by the way, yet again. That's their third lead in this series. Vanderbilt and Tennessee are underway at Lindsey Nelson. The Vols are up 1-0. You got plenty of action, obviously, around the country to keep you occupied while LSU and Arkansas wait out this rain delay. Speaking of that series, we're going to grab a break, come back on the other side, and give you our final thoughts, final preview, final prediction on how it goes at the box between the Tigers and the Hogs. That's next here on AFR.
AFR.
GLO. GlowResources.com. GlowResources.com. Glow Resources, they are complete employer solutions. Get them by Glow Resources or go to GlowResources.com. If you're a business owner and you want to be more efficient, maybe you're really struggling to find the right person in your job at your place to make your business more efficient. Maybe you're struggling to find people who are responsible, people that show up on time, people that are efficient when they work. You ever had a job where you think, man, that should have been done in 2 hours and it takes 8 hours? Well, what if you had the right people to get that done? I'm telling you, Glow Resources can find them. And while their corporate headquarters are here in Baton Rouge, which I love about them, by the way, they've got offices in Miami, in Orlando, in Houston, in New Orleans, in the Golden Triangle, and they service businesses all over the world. So no matter where your business does business, if you need the right people, you need Glow Resources.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team color, team swag, and now your very own website, LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net, powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
AFR is brought to you by Parish Restoration. Kill mold, remove odor, other harmful pathogens, commercial or residential. As a matter of fact, Parish Restoration, I love the process, by the way. If you go to the website at parishrestoration.com, you can see videos of their patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. So you see exactly what it looks like. Very cool. But they have fogged over at Parish Restoration. They fogged one of the largest buildings in the entire state of Louisiana. So it doesn't matter if it's your office building, your church, whatever it may be, school, or your home. They can even fog your car. Maybe your car has a weird odor, musty smell. Maybe you bought a used car from a smoker and you can't get that smoky smell out. This will do it. They'll come while you're at work, fog it by the time you're done with work for the day. Boom, you're back in a clean-smelling, fresh-smelling vehicle. It's Parish Restoration. Learn more at parishrestoration.com. parishrestoration.com. Do business with someone you know. parishrestoration.com.
LSU and Arkansas, they will do battle at the box this weekend at some point. But they will do battle at the box this weekend, and there's so much on the line. We've talked about it all week long. All week long, and especially a lot over the last, 5.5 hours of this show the last 2 days. I mean, John Neighbors was here to preview Arkansas. We talked about it with Kendall Rogers. Jack DeLongchamps was here earlier. He's at the box right now covering it. We talked to him. I've given you plenty of thoughts throughout. Now it's time for the final ones. To me, it is remarkable how similar these two teams are on paper. Go look at just about any statistic, and you'll see LSU and Arkansas right there, neck and neck, right next to each other. I don't think there's a better illustration of that than the team ERA. It is separated by a 10th. I'm sorry, not even a 10th, a 100th. LSU at 3.74, Arkansas at 3.75. And it's like that in a lot of different categories between these two teams. I love that this series is at home. It is something that I talked about all the way back preseason on Musso the Box when we went through LSU's schedule for the first time. I loved that your toughest series outside of what Texas turned into one of them, but outside of like A&M preseason, your toughest series were at home. And this certainly falls into that category. And that's massive for tonight and for the weekend. But I will never pick a team to win solely because they're at home. Does home field matter? Absolutely. But it is not the be-all, end-all. LSU is going to have to go out there and execute and do it well on the field for the entirety of the weekend in order to win 2 out of 3 here. Because that is arguably the best team that you have seen all year coming in Arkansas. So what does that look like? Where does LSU hold an edge? For me, it's the starting rotation. I think Cade Anderson and Anthony Ianson are the best 1-2 in America. And they will have another grand stage to prove that this weekend. But you look at those two guys. They've both thrown a complete game this year. They're both over 100 strikeouts. In fact, they are both top 5 in the nation in strikeouts. LSU is the only team in the country with 2 pitchers represented there. They both pound the zone. They're great. I don't think there's a better 1-2 in America than Anderson and Ianson. And you throw in the fact that you could potentially have Case and Evans available to start game 3, it's another feather in your cap in the rotation. Good pitching beats good hitting. I love the way LSU's bullpen has come along, specifically the last 2 weeks. And it couldn't be happening at a better time facing this Arkansas lineup, which doesn't have any holes. The Aloy brothers are who you're really going to look at. And you should. Vahiva, he leads the SEC in hits and in runs scored. You have got to keep that guy off base. Easier said than done, and I know that sounds very obvious. Yeah, keep their best hitter off base. But I want to give you some food for thought that might give you a little bit of confidence in that realm and in doing that. LSU at times this year has really shut down the opposition's best hitter. Go back to the Alabama series. Justin LeBron, who's likely going to be the first pick overall in next year's draft, went 1 out of 13 with 5 strikeouts over the course of the weekend against LSU. And that played a massive role in the Tigers winning that series against Alabama because he came up in big moments. LSU had a great plan, like bases loaded moments. LSU had a great plan, and they struck him out or got him to ground out weekly, weak count, any of that. They owned him. This past weekend against Jace Laviolette and Caden Sorrell, and I know, man, the 8th inning on Sunday was a wet blanket on that, but before that, they had 2 hits between them. Jace Laviolette ended the weekend 1 out of 12 with 6 punch-outs. Caden Sorrell ended the weekend 2 out of 12 with 6 punch-outs. You held them down. In the end, they bit you. But that just strengthens the point of what you need to do against Vahiva Aloy and his brother Kahio for that matter, but especially Vahiva. Because, again, he gets on base, he comes around. He's going to hit at the top of the order 2-0. He can hurt you in so many different ways, whether it's the long ball or just hitting for average. LSU has got to have a replica against Vahiva Aloy and Kahio Aloy, for that matter, that they did against the Justin LeBron, against the Jace Laviolette. Because you've seen what happens when the opponent's stars are stars. Look at the Auburn series. Ike Irish was a star. Chase Fralick was a star that weekend. You got swept. Now, you also didn't score any runs that weekend either. That matters. But you have a track record. Nate Yeske has been awesome this year at dialing up plans for the opponent's best hitter. The LSU, that's first and foremost what LSU is going to need to do. Because if you do that, I like your staff a lot against the rest of that lineup, even though there's no holes. I get it. Iredale's a great player. Davalon's been awesome this year, too. Justin Thomas Jr. in the 9 holes hitting 288. That's great. But none of those guys do the damage that the Aloys do. You have got to take advantage of opportunity in this series. As great as Arkansas's offense is, I think runs are actually going to be at a premium here. Because you have 2 dynamite pitching matchups in the first 2 days. The problem is, Arkansas doesn't give you anything. Arkansas has walked the second least amount of hitters in the league this year, and they are the best fielding team in the league. Talk about Aloy, Vahiva Aloy at shortstop. He's made 4 errors all year. Yeah, he's a great offensive player. He's made 4 errors all year. Arkansas has committed 2 or more errors in just 8 of their 49 games. You might get 1, and when you do, you have to make it hurt. I want to see, and I think one of the best ways to do that is to fix the top of your lineup again. First and foremost, what I want to see from LSU offensively, I want to see Curiel Jones and Dickinson at the top of your lineup, in that order. Because that is when you've been at your best offensively. That has been when you have won your most games. That has been when those 3 players have been at their best offensively, are comfortable in those roles. Talked about that all week on this show and on Musso at the Box. If you do that, I think that's the first obvious step in getting this thing back on the right track. And then, yeah, you have to take better at bats. You have to use the whole field. You have to hit with 2 strikes. All the things that LSU's done offensively this year at times that have made them great. You need to get back to that. And then if and when you get any edge, any opportunity, Arkansas gives you the slightest thing, because they're not going to give you much, you have to take advantage of it. And the same goes for Arkansas. LSU, they're great in the field. Tigers aren't going to commit a lot of errors and give you what you want. But in keeping with the top of the lineup theme and taking advantage, I'll point you to that Tennessee game Friday night. That was the last time LSU ran out that top of the lineup. Curiel Jones Dickinson. Errors started that inning, and you were able to flip to the top of that lineup, and you took advantage of it, and boy, that worked out really nicely, didn't it? To me, that is such a recipe for success, and I hope that's what they run out there tonight. The other thing is the magic number of 6 for LSU and for Arkansas. LSU, when scoring 6 or more runs, has lost but 1 game this year. That's it. Arkansas, when scoring 6 or more runs, has lost only 4. But the emphasis for Arkansas is on the more. 6 or more. When Arkansas has been stuck on 6 runs this year, they actually have a losing record. 7-6 game, you like LSU there, don't you? 3 out of those 4 losses for the Hogs when they've scored 6 or more runs have come when they've scored 6 runs. That's a number to really keep an eye on this weekend for both the Tigers and the Hawks. The last thing is the home runs. Because, look, home field, that favors LSU. Coaching, that's a push. That Van Horn, Jay, that's a push. I like you on the mound, and that's where we can get back into the home runs. You have to limit Arkansas's offense. And, look, they can beat you in a lot of different ways, but they've hit 102 home runs. LSU's given up the second least amount of home runs in the conference this year, and the wind is going to be blowing in. And I think that is a huge factor in this storyline because earlier in the show, we talked about Cade Anderson on a short rest, and he'll be on short rest here tonight whenever they throw out the first pitch. And one of the big noticeable issues for him on short rest was the ball leaving the yard. But in those 2 outings, the box was playing extremely offensive. I don't expect that tonight. There's going to be a lot of humidity still in the air. It'll be heavy, and the wind will be blowing in. I think Anderson's set up for a little bit more success tonight, even on the short rest, even against this lineup. I like LSU to win 2 out of 3 this weekend. I can't tell you I have the utmost confidence in that pick, but I do lean with LSU because I like their advantage on the mound. I like that they're at home. And LSU's also been a better offensive team at home as well. And one more thing, my mistake, I meant to mention this when we talked about the number 6. You know how many runs LSU's averaged in SEC play when the top of your order has been Curiel Jones-Dickinson? 6.6. That's what you're looking to get to. I think they do. I'll take LSU 2 out of 3. Winning game 1 is with the utmost importance, and you do whatever you have to win it because that sets you up for a lot of success the rest of the weekend. But give me the Tigers 2 out of 3. It'd be a massive, massive series, and if you get it, you need to go to South Carolina the next week. Take 2 out of 3. You're at 19 wins. You're a national seed. You're playing baseball all the way until Omaha at Alex Box Stadium, where you've obviously been a better team. So we'll take the Tigers. All right. One thing left to do here on Friday edition of AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. We're going to wrap it up with a little bit of Ask Us. You got questions for me, for Beck, for Paul. Go ahead, drop them in the YouTube chat. You can also tweet me or send it to me on X, whatever, at Musso Matthew. We'll do a little bit of Ask Us. Maybe get to some of the reaction some of you maybe had from CFP expansion conversation earlier. Anything you want to ask, just drop it in the chat, and we'll answer it next to close out the show. Without further ado, stay here.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. Go to getgordon.com. You can follow him on all the social medias. I love it. Squirrel Burrell is back rocking with the G Team. Elite LSU sprinter. Made the announcement. It's on social media. You can see the photos on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, or all the spots. You know, Gordon's done an awesome job with the G Team, giving great NIL opportunities to athletes, not just Tigers, but so many athletes across the state of Louisiana, both the revenue sports, the Olympic sports, all of it. You can learn more about all the members of the G Team by going to getgordon.com, getgordon.com, and love telling you about all the content that they do as well. Gordon sit down with members of the LSU baseball team recently. Kim Mulkey. The Garage is the podcast studio there at Gordon's office, so you want to see all that, you can catch it on YouTube or any of their social medias. Whatever you do, you know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
You work hard every day to pursue a life you love. You put in the time, and it shows. You're forging ahead, chasing a dream, creating something better for the ones you love. You're building your own life, so why not build your own tractor? With John Deere tractors and attachments for almost any need, the Sunshine Team can help you do just that. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Brought to you by Evermore, all natural, great tasting water. When you uncap a bottle of Evermore, that's the first time the product touches air. It's incredible. It's a natural well. It's natural artesian water. It's a well. It's on the North Shore. I went to their bottling facility. When you pull up on the left, you'll see the well is right there. They drill deep into the earth. They pipe it out right into their filters and their filtration system. Nothing is added. Nothing is extracted. It is completely pure from the earth water. So if you want a healthier option, if you want a healthier lifestyle, something healthier for your children, maybe you're an athlete that wants a superior form of hydration, Evermore, EVAMOR. If you notice, go to their website, you'll see Dak Prescott is one of their chief spokespeople. I mean, starting NFL quarterback is vouching for it. Check it out at great local retailers or order on their website at EVAMOR.com, Evermore.com, Evermore.com.
All right, wrapping up a Friday edition here of AFR. We'll get to a little Ask Us. This one piqued my interest. Nookie said, ask us, what is the Beck baby due date?
Yeah. I
How did I not know you and your wife were having a kid?
I don't know, because I thought I told her. I thought at least most people knew, because I talked about it on the show before. I know Paul knows, but yeah, it should be August. I think first week of August right
That's
now
awesome.
is the date. So yes, we will be waiting for that day to come. So yeah, it's gone pretty fast, honestly. It feels like it was not too long ago that we found out. But,
yeah,
August. I think August 8th is the exact date, but we'll see if we get that far.
Beck, congratulations.
Thanks.
I still don't know how. I mean, we all talk here, so
Yeah.
I don't know how that slipped through the cracks.
I don't know either.
Or how I didn't hear it from somebody else.
Yeah.
But definitely congratulations to y'all, man. That is awesome. That really is. That's great. Paul, any advice for him?
I mean, just be prepared.
Wow.
Thank you, Paul.
I should. Yeah.
You got that back? Write
Yeah.
that down. You don't want to forget that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're going to lose sleep.
Yeah.
A lot of dirty diapers in your future.
Of course.
Yeah. Get ready.
What?
Have you started preparing yet? Like, have you got a crib, got the,
Oh yeah,
the
we're
nursery
going.
going?
Look, here's the thing. I am not good at planning, but my wife is she's a planner. She likes to plan ahead, so she's on top of things. So we're getting ready for it.
Here's one. Have you put together your first piece of furniture yet for the baby?
No, actually, that is coming soon. The crib is going to need to be put together, so I'm going to be working on that. So that could be a little bit of a roller coaster.
That's always interesting. I'll tell you this: a couple of my friends, they just had their first child in February, and randomly on one night in December, I got a phone call at 8:30 that said, hey, would you like to come help us move a dresser and have a few beers? And I was like, the beers sound great. The dresser, not so much. But I went. And let me tell you, that was probably the heaviest dresser I've ever moved in my life. And there weren't even clothes in it at this point. It was wild.
It must be a good dresser then.
It is a good dresser. It is. They changed out the knobs and shout out Becca and Juan. They changed out the knobs and everything on it. So yeah, I mean, it's great. But it was heavy. It was really, really heavy. Nookie also said, ask us estimate the ending time for tonight's game. Nook, brother. 1:05. I'll go 1:05 a.m. Why not? Tigers are undefeated at 1 a.m. though, so I guess we really can't. I guess we really can't complain too much.
It'd be a good thing then. Hopefully,
you would hope. You would hope. You know what would be great is if it gets started late and LSU just goes out there and run rules. It's not going to happen. Obviously, Arkansas is a little too good for that. But man, that'd be great. That'd be awesome there. So, Paulie, you're going on vacation next week, aren't you? You're going to be gone.
I am. I will be out next week.
Well, you enjoy that. I'm insanely jealous. You took a day off this week. Now you're leaving next week. Yeah.
I'll bring you back a T-shirt.
Okay. I'd actually take one. You don't have to, but I mean, I'm not going to turn down a free T-shirt. That's awesome. Yeah. You can never have too many T-shirts. There's certain things in life you can never have too many of. T-shirts, blankets around the house. You always need a blanket around the house. So yeah, I mean, I take a T-shirt. Absolutely. All right. That's going to wrap it up. Appreciate everybody for tuning in these last couple of days. Great shows. A lot of fun conversation. Matt is back on Monday. We'll recap the series against Arkansas. Obviously, recap the happenings around Saints rookie minicamp. David DeLucci will be here. Tune in then for AFR.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, remind you about South Point Volkswagen, airline just north of Highland, and SouthPointVW.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at SouthPointVW.com, SouthPointVW.com. One of the things that's really worth stressing when I tell you all the time about why I love driving a Volkswagen. Remember, at South Volkswagen, their vehicles are manufactured right here in the US of A. So you get the great German engineering, safety features, performance, all of it, without the cost and the benefit of supporting American jobs. But even more importantly right now, as people talk about tariffs and rising costs and all that stuff, these vehicles are manufactured in the US of A, so you don't even have to worry about the tariffs and all that conversation. So another benefit of shopping at South Point Volkswagen, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer, and they're awesome people as well. Volkswagen, so much it's a culture, it's a vibe, it's fun to drive, and they're fun to deal with as well. Airline just north of Highland, South Point Volkswagen.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 75.